Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the only late night movie talk show on YouTube worth giving a fuck about. Hollywood After Dark is here, and today we're going to be talking about the Snyder Bros, the cult of Snyder, getting outgunned by the man, the myth, the legend, James Gunn, and a whole bunch of other crap going on in Hollywood, folks. It's going to be another banger of a night. Hold on to your butts, crack that like, crack a beer, let's fucking go! Hey, what's going on, everybody? How you guys doing? Welcome to the party. Welcome to the show. It's another day. It's another, God damn it, did something else happen in the Snyderverse? Holy shit, here we go again, folks. It's never over. It's never going to go away. No matter how many times we get told it's over, no matter how many times we get told that it's time to move on, maybe go to some greener pastures, maybe touch a little bit of grass, maybe go out there, find ourselves a nice woman or man or something in between, whatever you might find attractive, whether it could be someone who assists or someone who identifies as an attack helicopter. Folks, it's entirely up to you with what you're into. But I think we got to have those conversations every once in a while. And that, of course, is exactly where we find ourselves right now. So we got ourselves today the big news with James Gunn finally pulling the damn trigger and letting everybody know that sell Snyderverse to Netflix is stupid as hell. Of course, he says it in a way that's a lot nicer. He says it in a way that's basically just like this, right? Not going to happen, right? 3 simple words, right? Very, you could easily put a hashtag in front of that. Hashtag not going to happen. But to help me join me in the conversation to talk about this is, of course, Chris, the Bipolar Jedi. Chris, how's it going, man?
Oh my God, bro. I'm telling you, we could start like this is content forever if people wouldn't get bored of it. You could do because first the Superman suit and the 4th grade drawing that he was holding up, and now like when I'm dude, I just for the chat alone, Maddie, I'll crack up, dude. Content forever. You could call it the Cope Chronicles.
Yeah, it's a lot of cope. It's a lot of cope. A lot of coping. A lot of weird. And I mean this too, a lot of just like, holy crap, just like what's going on here.
Well, at first I was like, yeah, okay, they're grifting. It's
all a grift. I mean, everything on the
internet.
No,
these people scare me. People like this really scare me. I watched you. I mentioned you on my stream yesterday when I was talking about, you guys should have heard Maddie going on Skywalker for that when you were talking about the girl in the background saying, is this real? Is this guy wearing a vest?
Yeah, right. Like what's going on? What's he saying? I think if Skywalker would have gone out there with a boombox like John Cusack and say anything.
Just Peter Gabriel.
Yeah. Just done that. It would have been like, okay. Right, that's like no,
I could have got behind that too. He'd have got a like from me for that, even though I can't stand the dude. He'd have got a like for that.
He could have totally done that, but instead, what did he do? He's like, let's go to the Dollar Tree and just get the crappiest thing we can. And my favorite thing, look, man, and this is just a petty nitpick. It's just a petty nitpick, but when you have an inkjet printer and you've got nothing but full ink pages, it looks terrible.
No, you got to have a border.
You got to have a border. You got to have a border. Yeah. You got to have but I mean, like, even then, all of the ink gets soaked into the paper.
Yeah, it's so bad.
It just looks bad. And so it's like when you zoom in close on it and you see like just the fact that it's like, ooh, that's like, you have a kind of a purplish background and darker blue purple lettering. And you're like, somebody actually thought that was a solid design choice. I mean, that meme of graphic design is my passion pops up in my brain. It's like just someone.
Not even like you can't even see the shit. He's got his 7th grade chicken scratches on there. It's all it's just. It was so man, the level of cringe, bro. It
was cringe. I mean, and I can't knock the handwriting. My handwriting looks like I'm Helen Keller. All right, it just looks bad. But I mean, yeah. Again, the thing is like, see, we got to remember about Skywalker is that Skywalker likes to flex. he likes to flex. He's
What's he flexing though? Like,
he's
look
like
at
he's
his
that
back
he's
wall.
got
He
money.
doesn't even have a fucking poster. The guy doesn't own anything. Like, it's horrible.
Well, he says he lives like in a Long Beach in like a high rise or something. I think he
I've
lives
seen
with his
it.
mom.
No, he does have a nice crib. I can't.
I mean,
lie.
I'm pretty. Is it his or is it his mom's? That's
I
my
don't know,
question.
but it's right on the beach. He's got a balcony.
Yeah. I mean, like the guy's got like it's got a nice place. Now, granted, he probably spends all the money in the world to maintain that, but he's also, as far as I know, doesn't have a car, doesn't have a driver's license, or maybe he does, but he goes to the strip club a lot. That's something I've heard him say.
He doesn't even have a good Superman suit. That shit looked like $12 Party City, bro.
The booties did it for me. That's what it was. The booties absolutely did it for me.
Look, he got more balls than me because I never would have went down. I would
but
never
it's
like,
like,
well,
I mean, that's even then, that's not even. It doesn't take balls to do that.
No,
it
it's not. I'm telling you, making fun of him starting to feel bad, Matt, because I honestly believe he's not all there. No, I'm being dead serious. I honestly believe he's not all there.
Well, and none of these guys are all there. That's why today was very much just the cope of the whole thing.
Oh
right?
My god, you should hear the conspiracy theory shit they're spouting on his show
if you've got a timestamp, we'll play it because honest to God, I got a thing from Sill to check out and then some other stuff. But Spherical Commander says the guy who flaunts his cash and offers to fly women out to him and put them up in a hotel is too cheap to buy a great costume and go to Kinko's for better signs. Really, it's the Kinko's. Like, you're telling me that he couldn't have gone on Fiverr and had someone design something? There's people in the Snyder fandom that like could have easily designed something a lot better. I mean, dude, whoever the fuck made this, you know what I mean? Whoever the fuck did this is better than what they brought. They could have easily done something a little bit different, but it just cracks me the ever loving fuck up, And so to cope with that, because I have to kind of chill for a hot second, to cope with how I feel on these things, guys. You know what I do? I listen to Podio commentary. It's what I listen to. I listen to my own podcast, right? YouTube.com/Podio commentary. Check it out. It's on anywhere you get your podcasts and YouTube. You see them zombie titties right there. They're in the movie. Not necessarily.
I watched that the other day. Dude, is it don't get mad, okay? Because you and I were adversaries at one time and you quickly became one of probably my favorite YouTuber, okay? But is it wrong that I like your Podio commentaries more than I like the streams?
No, totally fine. See, and here's the thing with that, Chris. You've now just given away my secret sauce.
Oh, is it? Oh, my bad.
I've
pink sauce is out.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things I want to do as time goes on, like really, is I would love to focus on doing audio commentary more often and scaling back Hollywood After Dark. Not because I don't like doing it. I love doing it. It's just more like,
it's time consuming, man.
It's
you got kids. You got to get
the
up
kids
early
are the
for
big
school.
one.
Yeah, man.
That's the big one. It's up late. It's getting more and more difficult. It is. It's getting more and more difficult. And then my girlfriend is starting a new job where she's got to go to work earlier. So it's like I got to get up earlier, And I'm just like, oh my God.
Well, I get everything I want in those. You know what I mean? Like, I love hearing you talk the numbers and stuff like that because you always come with facts, you always come with receipts, you always come with research. A lot of people just throw some shit out there. A lot of people just are hard artards, bro. And they'll just, hey, man, I heard a rumor about a rumor, and it's all the scoop game. You always come, that is my favorite part of your show. And when you review the movies, some of the other stuff I just get lost in because I'm just too ignorant to know what you're talking about.
No, sure. I get that entirely. I think when it comes to the stuff with Podio commentary, it's just more like that's more fun for me. I just want to like hang out and like play video games and talk about movies and shit. And like, I just don't want to drive anymore. Like that's the big one. I don't want to do Uber anymore, guys. I'm like so over it. My car is starting to fall apart. Like I wish it wasn't true, but it's true. So I'm like, fuck. So yeah, that's kind of where things are for this year. That's the goal for this year. It will happen.
Yeah, I like that goal because
however we get to that point. But
I'm a huge supporter of the Podio commentary. It's like my second favorite shit on YouTube right now. It really is. It's my second favorite shit after music. I do the movie reviews, and I always go to yours first. So
yeah, they're fun to do. I got to do the what is it? My Bloody Valentine. Yeah, I'm just you guys go make In Search Of too. Considering how long it took me to make In Search Of. All right. Like, and considering how it took me 2 days to make that movie, I don't think I would ditch you guys for long to go do a sequel. So there's that. But all right, what do we got here? We got 66 people watching. We're 10 minutes in, guys. Why don't we dive into the main fun part of the evening? So we're going to laugh at some stuff today. And if you guys want to toss a like while we do this, that would help out quite a bit, you know? So what we have to do today is go back to the beginning. We have to go back to a tweet from 9 hours ago. James Gunn simply posts Swamp Thing. Obviously, we know what he's referring to. Obviously, we know all the things that are going to be happening with that. But of course, you know, James Gunn likes to listen to the fans and to respond outside of just leaving a like on someone's post. You know, he actually tries. You get this guy here, Uncle Fahad, right? I gotta see this here. So this guy, 4,700 followers. All right, been around since 2018. Good for him. What's he tweet about here? A lot of soccer, some memes with soccer, a little bit of Zack Snyder stuff. But all right. So yeah, it is what it is. Okay. Guy's a soccer fan. Good for him. Okay. He doesn't seem like a psycho, but then he comes in and he just says, sell the Snyderverse to Netflix. So by the way, he's using the wrong hashtag, which is funny.
Yeah, that's the one.
Which is really funny, but somehow
I put that one in there. You see my tweet. I put that one in there on purpose because it's the wrong one.
It's the wrong hashtag, but that apparently is a conspiracy theory. That apparently is something people are out there oof about. So James Gunn responds, and you gotta love it. He just says here, I have to say this has got to be the wackiest hashtag ever, since one, Netflix hasn't expressed any such interest, although we've discussed other stuff, and two, Zach hasn't expressed any interest and seems to be happy doing what he's doing, and yes, we too have talked. And that's the thing right there. Now, when I say that, you know, that James Gunn euthanizes the Snyderverse on behalf of Zack Snyder, that's the title of this stream. I say that because it's effectively true. Zach,
no, he just did it in a nice way.
He did it in a nice way. Yeah. He did it. What he did is think of it like if you ever have to take a dog and put a dog down. It's a terrible thing. Nobody wants to do it. But you go to a nice, clinic and you take the dog in and they make the dog nice and comfortable and they give it like some treats and, you're there with it and you're petting it and you're like giving it love. And then the doctor comes in with a needle and just, you just injects it. Yeah. And then you wait with them slowly as they fall to sleep and that's it.
And you go home and ball up
and you go home and you get into the fetal position. You cry your eyes out. You eat a pound of ice cream. It's just the coping with it, right? It's the most. Donovan here says it's the most humane thing.
It really is.
Yes, man. There we go, Donovan. It's the most humane thing.
He puts these nice tweets out, Maddie. Yeah. But then he clicks his phone shut. Puts it on the coffee table. He looks at that gorgeous wife of his and goes, "These people are fucking crazy."
Oh, most likely. He's just like, he just looks at his wife and he's all like, "Yeah, baby, She's like, "All right, like, yeah, we're newlyweds. Let's go and hump it out." Right. Remember, you got to put the bean in the jar. You know that old one, right? For the first year of marriage, every time you have sex, you put a bean in a jar. And then after that first year, so on your first anniversary until the end of your life, every time you have sex, you take a bean out of the jar. All right. And the joke there is that you'll never be able to empty the jar. And it is.
Hey, the newlywed phase is great though, man.
Honeymoon phase is over. Yeah. I mean, but they're on it right now. Like, congrats to them. But anyway, he says this, he's like, and he says, we've talked. Now, I have criticized Zach for not saying anything publicly about James Gunn. And I criticized The Rock about not saying anything publicly about James Gunn getting the job. But it does appear here at this particular point that what we're seeing is flat out that they have been communicative behind the scenes and that things are kind of working out okay. I mean, we have Wonder Meg right here saying, can we get any info regarding Constantine 2? Me saying Meg asking the good questions because I do want Constantine 2.
Yeah, no, and those are like legit questions that James will answer. He don't want to talk about the Snyder Cut. And everyone we're talking about this shit happened. I'm going to get flustered. I don't mean to, but look, this Zack Snyder stuff happened before James Gunn was even there, but everybody wants to blame him now. And remember when they thought Zaslav was going to be the savior?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know. The merger.
Yeah, this is a good question. You're right. That is a good question.
And then, of course, but then it was the merger, and then it was the upfront, right? It was the upfront, the May upfront last year, talking about all the advertising. And then it was like Comic-Con or some event in June or whatever. And
yeah, and then it was going to be the DC fandom.
They've been the Air Cut guys.
They've been grifting off this and lying about this and conspiracy theory for years. And now that they realize, well, shit, ain't nothing happened. Now it's a whole new conspiracy. Now the cool kids table and the Mikey verse and the Scooper verse and the Sil Abduls, they know something we don't know again. And people fall for this shit, dude. David Koresh in a Superman suit. I'm not even kidding, bro. It's fucking crazy out there.
Well, you know, people, like Max was saying, like, because Max has kind of been defensive of this. We'll talk a little about that though as time goes on. But one of the things though is like, yeah, these guys are like the shit today. The coping with this is just hysterical to me. But it also to an interesting idea that I had, and we'll get to the whole positive, the toxic positivity, which is an interesting cope that these guys are up to. But someone here did ask James what y'all talk about, which is a fair question. And James says he contacted me to express his support about my choices. He's a great guy. Again, he seems really happy with the massive world building he's doing now.
Yeah, and it's like Rebel Moon. That's a trilogy, right? Like, so. Yeah.
Well, I think I know they're doing part 1, part 2, and that's one story, but that could lead to more. That could be spinoffs. I mean, it all depends on how well it does.
Yeah.
And if Zack can come in under budget, which is something, you know, if
he's never done.
Well, no, Army of the Dead, he kept that pretty small. A lot of the visual effects stuff went into that. Rebel Moon looks like it's going to be fun. So we'll have to, you know, when we get a full trailer, probably around Comic-Con is when we're going to get it. You know, and then of course you got this guy here. Look at this guy here, this Richie Castaldo guy, right? You know, it says here, ever play one of these 3 is a lie, easy to spot in your tweet. Zack is a great guy. Truth. Zack is happy at Rebel Moon. Truth. Zack contacted you and supports you to direction for DC. You lie. Right. Yeah. This guy right here, you know, says he's a writer, but doesn't understand that James Gunn wrote like Dawn of the Dead and that they know each other and shit. Like, it's just
and they've been friends for a long time.
They've known it, you know, yeah, they're not they're not besties or nothing, but they've known each other.
Friends, yeah, for a long time. They're not like, yeah, I get it. They're not besties or nothing, but man, they have known each other since, well, fuck, what year was that? 2003? 2000? What year did
that came out in 2004, which means they would have started working on it in 2002.
Yeah, so you're talking, you know, 20 years. These guys known each other. And I don't think Zack's just going to let somebody speak for him and lie on a giant public platform like that and say, yeah, me and Zack.
You know what? He should. If James Gunn should do that then, right? Treat Zack Snyder like Biden treated the Republicans at the State of the Union, right? Goad them into responding and then turn it around on them. That's all you got to do. Is like, oh, they call him a liar. And he's like, okay, so you guys aren't going to cut Medicare and Social Security?
Yeah.
Right? You know, just get him on that shit. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do. And just, but the thing is though, look, Zack has said multiple times, he'll never say no to a paying customer, meaning Zack will never tell you it's done. He'll always tell you anything could happen. He'll always be optimistic about it, even though there is no way to look at how Zack acted after everything went down in 2017. And I'm not like attacking him for it. I mean that literally. Like,
no, he was in a really bad place.
Yeah, like he stole the footage, you know, and he took it home, and that was like, I would say that's probably a fair amount of his therapy was putting that thing together, and I support him 100% in that one, right? But as time went on, as we got into 2020, as the cut was announced and everything started happening, there was like all of a sudden Ray Fisher starts attacking the company while they're finishing this thing up. It makes literally no sense. Why would Ray Fisher go and start attacking the company over the Justice League investigation and whatever, and not have that be something that Zack personally signed off on? Because you wouldn't go to your friend's work and take a dump on the floor and expect your friend to be okay with it. Because we're talking professionalism here, like professionalism.
No, and as big a fan as I am of Zack Snyder, I always thought it was weird that he would let these toxic groups just say anything, and he never, like, he could have just not once did he just come out and be like, hey,
the only time he ever did anything was on the Geeks and Gamers stream. That was really about it.
Yeah, and that was just to say, look, I'm not affiliated with these guys.
Yeah.
I'm hating on Asians. You know what I mean? Like, that was what he said. He didn't say shit about his cut. You know what I mean? Like, it's.
Well, he came on in because, again, I think I personally believe that, you know, there was I'd heard this through the grapevine Like it was after because when Uche, who also by the way, rest in peace,
Rest
Uche,
in
he
peace,
recently
yeah.
passed
And it
away.
was Uche that got him in there.
Yeah,
For
he got
sure.
him in there.
Yeah.
But when that happened at the aftermath, I guess they had a conversation, and Uche had said he had heard Debbie in the back of the call making a comment like we were getting emails. So people were clearly reaching out to them about who Geeks and Gamers were.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was definitely something that I think got Zach to respond the way that he did, and it just cratered that live stream. So hey, look, two birds, one stone, right? Like he disavows, and they seethe and they seethe and they seethe, and it was one of the funniest. It was to me that was better than the movie.
Yeah.
To me, that was better than the movie. I know that sounds petty, right? Whatever.
No, it's not really though. When you
But it's
watching
better
the
than-
heart get ripped out of Ryan Cannell and his facial expression and like he just like he looked like a kid who lost his puppy when Zach said that shit. And I was just like, thank you, sir.
Yeah, it was great. It was great because like they had set that up where you had Uche and Ryan and they were doing the Geeks and Gamers bit, you know, and they did have the branding on the GoFundMe, right? Or on the auction pages. They had the branding there at first, and that's one of the things Zach had not wanted. He didn't want it to be associated with them. He wanted it to just be a fan thing. And then yeah, I think based upon what Uche had said, that he had heard Debbie say was that so people were clearly reaching out to them about this, which is funny because all those guys want is to be recognized, right? That's what the Fandom Menace wants. Like if you recall, and I have a video about it too, in the Fallout, I listened to Jeremy's live stream before he unlisted it. And then I still had the link so I could go and watch it and get the clips I needed. But then after that, he privated it, right? He took it down. But in there,
yeah, we recorded it.
He basically had said like, he goes like, I don't care about Hollywood, but they got to come to us. I'm paraphrasing, but that's what he was talking about was how he wants Hollywood. They all want Hollywood to come to them. They want to be tastemakers. You know, they want to be the ones that are like, they can be at the table for like the development side of things. Like they can be paid to be consultants essentially. It's just like to go in there. Okay, well, what is it? You know, the base you represent. I mean, think of them like politicians. I think that's a fair way to describe it. They're kind of like politicians, like representatives to go in there. Okay, I represent this district of people or this base of people. We're multiple hundred thousand strong. We can command a pretty decent chunk of change. You know, and this is what the evangelicals do. This is the whole thing with the evangelical, you know, lobbyists and consultants and shit in fucking Congress.
Religious vote.
We can get you the religious vote because we'll endorse you and we'll say, you know, all this shit. So they want the exact same thing. What they don't realize though is that there's like there's 8 billion people in this world. They literally mean nothing. Like, I don't mean anything. You don't mean anything. We don't mean anything. We don't mean shit.
The internet is a vast, vast shadow. It's like Rome in ancient times, man. Remember how they used to say the shadow of Rome is vast? That's how the internet is. It's bigger. You're one little tiny microscopic speck in a corner of the internet. You're not as big as you think you are. Don't get me wrong.
You're a grain of sand on a beach.
Yeah, you're one grain of sand on a beach, man. And they think they're big shit, man. A lot of people do though, man. I know people with a few hundred subs, a few thousand subs, and they think they're running shit. They really do.
Man, I'll tell you, like, yeah, I don't think that at all. I keep to myself. I mean, I'm loud. I'm definitely vocal, but I keep to myself on a lot of that shit. You know, I wouldn't mind like having more debates with people, but like, even it's like, I'm good at keeping myself calm, but there's times I just want to like rage on motherfuckers, and that ends up being an issue. And that's kind of what takes me back to this whole thing right here with Zack Snyder as a way to segue back to the main talking point. What we get here is like, again, James comes out, simply just makes the comment, like, no, it's what a wackadoo, you know, hashtag, because it's like, it's not going to happen. They've expressed no interest in it, nor would they. I mean, if they've talked to Netflix about other things, that might have to be about Sandman, because there is there's still something that runs within them because it's still a Vertigo property. So there's still going to be stuff that the studio
contract for the Flash was only 8 seasons. The Flash is going 9 seasons, so they've got to you know, relicense last season of the Flash.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Stuff like that, you know, the CW stuff is probably what they're talking about. They ain't. I'll tell you right now, they ain't talking about the Trinity. I can tell you that right now. No, it makes no sense to me. First of all, you put all these people over here And then they said, well, we're going to get Zack Snyder. Okay, first of all, Netflix is broke. Everyone knows that. They don't have the money to do it anyway. Then you got to license these characters, and you've got to give the money to James Gunn to also make the movie. Netflix can't afford that. Also, DC is not going to deliberately. They're doing Superman movies. They're going to do Batman stuff. They're not going to put themselves in direct competition with another streaming platform, okay, with the same IPs, with the same characters. That makes no sense to me. Like you're going to put yourself in direct competition with your own IP.
Well, there is the idea that, I mean, you know, talking to Amazon about licensing, I think Cape Crusader, that's been rumored to take place there. There's been other angles of it. There's been other sides of it that have been brought up. And I get all that. I understand all that stuff. But it's like, again, that's like an animated Batman show from Bruce Timm and J.J. Abrams. Like, you know, and Matt Reeves and shit. That's not part that would be considered an Elseworlds thing. They're not interested in that kind of shit. Because they know no one's gonna sit there and look at, like, let's say the Cape Crusader, that show, and be like, oh yeah, this is obviously canon. Like, it's not the case, right? Like, no one looks at Harley Quinn and goes, this is obviously canon. Like,
no, it's a fun show, but no one's taking it as a canon. You know what I mean? Like, they're just not.
yeah.
So there's exactly what you mean.
There's a lot of the kind of crap here. Spider-Man Gaming here says that Snyder fans say that James Gunn is lying. Oh no, they absolutely do, and they're completely wrong.
Not only that, they're saying that James Gunn didn't even put out that tweet. Yeah. They're scared of. Now look, Skywalker really thinks that James Gunn's stream, that James Gunn's afraid of him and the cool table, and this is all blah blah blah, and James Gunn is mad, and now him and Saffron are going to go to war over this. It's bad shit, Matt. It's crazy.
Yeah, they're all gonna.
They really believe this shit. Like,
it's it's wild to me.
It really
is what it is.
Crazy that
a lot of they don't. Well, that's the problem, is that these guys, they really just don't understand how the industry operates. And I think that's something that they need to really kind of figure out, because, you know, but here's my biggest thing with this. So you got the new geeks here, who's a gigantic piece of shit. Like, fuck this guy. But he says, everyone stay positive, no negativity towards Gunn and WBD. Positivity. Yeah, there we go.
Talking about. Okay.
Yeah. Then of course the tweet he replied to used the wrong hashtag. So like, as if that means anything. And then Netflix wouldn't need to talk to him. They need to talk to Zaslav. That's actually, like, true and not true. So what I mean by that is, like, what would happen, and I've mentioned this before, and I'll just quickly mention it again. If there was interest from Netflix, let's say that one, they would reach out to the copyright owners of that particular copyright, which would be DC Studios. Before it was DC Films, underneath Warner Picture Group, right? Warner Brothers Studios. So Warner's would have control over that. Warner's would have the copyright. Now look, the parent company is Warner Brothers Discovery. They are the ultimate purveyors of that copyright. But Warner Brothers Pictures now no longer has control over those brands and those IPs. The way you have to look at it is how Star Trek was divvied up. Okay, Star Trek is owned by CBS. Paramount, when J.J. Abrams wanted to do the new movies back in 2009, right? The Kelvin timeline. They had to go through CBS in order to be able to get the rights to use Star Trek in a motion picture. They had to go through CBS. They had to work specific deals. What timelines could be talked about, what stories could be talked about. Certain things had to look different. Certain things had to be this, be that. There were deals that they had to come to in order to not have, because this was a new iteration. It had to be a new iteration of Star Trek. It had to be a reboot. That's how CBS allowed that to happen. But Paramount, even though they're owned by Viacom, right? Even though they're owned by Viacom and they're technically part of the same umbrella, they still had to communicate with each other because they're vertical. They're not under they're under the umbrella, but they don't answer to each other. They have to work with each other.
Yeah.
That's how that shit works. Sense. So that's how this stuff is going to work too. So when DC Studios wants to put out a movie, DC Studios will go to Warner Brothers Picture Group to let them know, here's basically what we're doing. They will work with Warner Brothers Pictures, like, to work on, like, budgetary stuff like that, release schedules, release dates, marketing, all that kind of crap. You know, that's how this stuff generally tends to work. But they are the ones who are going to be producing the movie. Warner Brothers Pictures will be the ones distributing the movie, which are two different things ultimately. Like that's what when you start to look at this whole sell Zack Snyder's Justice League to Netflix, it makes zero conceivable sense.
To me, it right off jump, I was just like, I
Yeah.
just was like, no, where is this
But-
going? What?
Sure, but I do want to quickly address. Levon here says at the time, speaking of Paramount CBS, it was during their split prior to 2019. That doesn't matter anymore. Yes, I forgot to mention they've now consolidated the company, so now that licensing doesn't matter. But Warner's went the opposite direction to what Paramount did, or what Viacom did. You know what I mean? So Viacom became Viacom CBS and merged it all underneath one umbrella. So they don't have to worry about that licensing anymore. But beforehand they did. So, but that's basically at this point what it would be. That's basically what it would be.
And they're saying that, Netflix doesn't have to talk to James Gunn anyway, and James Gunn is not important. Then why won't you shut up about him? If he's so unimportant.
I know. It's hysterical. It's hysterical. By the way, guys, we got 104 people watching. Let's try to get up to 50 likes. We need 22 more. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. Also, Maverick here, Matt has been a matinee member for 17 months. Thank you so much. Says goalpost moving is hashtag sell Zack Snyder's Justice League to Tubi.
We're gonna
Yeah,
no, that's
sell it
funny.
to Tubi. sell it to fucking Tubi.
At this point right now, Maddie, Tubi probably has more money than Netflix.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't even know how they do. Well, you know who owns Tubi, right? Is Fox. Actual like Fox. Yeah. So
the way Sony owns Crackle. Yeah.
Crackle's gone now. I think they got rid of Crackle. Yeah. I don't even know. Here's the thing is like they did Joe Dirt 2, and you can't find that movie it's not streaming anywhere. Like you have to buy the physical copy of it if you want to get Joe Dirt 2 right now. There's also like 2 Dead Rising movies that were also made for Crackle that are no longer on there. Sony got rid of Crackle because Sony doesn't want to have their own streaming service. Like they've actually talked about this. Like Tony Vincent Quera talked about this a while back, and they were like, we're not interested in like a Peacock or a Hulu or whatever. We'll license to anybody. Like they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, they'll license to anyone.
Money. Yeah.
And that's why
Tubi's actually pretty good, man. I don't know if you got to sit through some commercials, but Tubi has a lot of old stuff on there you can't find anywhere else.
Yeah. Oh, Crackle is still up. I thought it was gone.
It's up, but I don't think they're putting anything new out. I mean, it's still on my Xbox app. I can go there right now and stream some of their like original programming, but it's okay. like they were gonna do a reality show. I'm not even making this up. This is not a rumor. I don't do the scoop thing. They were gonna do a reality show with Upchurch and Nicole Arbor.
Oh God.
That was gonna happen. There's some white rapper named Cracker or something like that, no joke, and they got a reality show about him on there. It's really low budget, like bad shit on Crackle. It's not good.
No, I'm looking at a movie right now called Love at the Ranch, and it's all Allison Sawyer is a go-to reporter at Metropolis Post, known for breaking high-profile stories. Her next story is writing a profile piece on one of her favorite authors, Annabelle Lee. Annabelle based all of her romantic novels on the timeless, beautiful Clybourne Ranch, far away from city life. That's literally all it gives you is Love at the Ranch.
Trying to cash in on the Yellowstone craze. A lot of people are doing that.
Well,
now.
No, it's more like Lifetime. It's really
that. Well, what's that one that I got cousins that watch a show, and it's been around for like 11 seasons, man. I think it's Canadian. It's about a horse ranch. But it's like if you could put Degrassi High in a horse ranch. I don't know what it's called. Heartland. There's a show called Heartland. And I'm like, so I told my cousin, so they canceled this after a season, right? He's like, no, this shit's been around for like 11 seasons. Like it's a big show, and I don't understand the appeal, but 11 seasons, they must be doing something right. But I don't really understand Canadian TV too much. It's a little bit different than
the only Canadian TV you really need to pay attention to is the Red Green Show. Other than that, you're okay.
And Trailer Park Boys was good. That was Canadian.
I've actually never seen that, so
I thought I was gonna hate it, Matt, and I love it. It's so funny. I thought I was gonna hate it. And then old school stuff like you can't do that on television and things like that.
Dude, that just hit its 44th anniversary. I saw a thing on Twitter the other day. It was like, you can't do this on television. It was released back on this day in 1979. I'm like, for one, fuck, I remember that when I was a kid.
Yeah, I discovered Nickelodeon. I came home and watched 2 episodes a night. It was a big deal, man. That's where Alanis Morissette came from. Was You Can't Do That on Television, and then now Jagged Little Pill blew up, and that's Nickelodeon. When I lived in Oklahoma, the cable was just different there. The TV was different there.
Yeah.
From Chicago. So when I got to Oklahoma, we lived in Norman. My dad was a groundskeeper for the Sooners. It's a boring story. I did get to meet Brian Bosworth though. So the cable was different, and I was like, "What is this Nickelodeon stuff?" And then they had like Double Dare, and You Can't Do That on. They had like the 2 biggest shows was Double Dare and You Can't Do That on Television. And I just remember, and Nick at Night. The old Nick at Night stuff, I Love Lucy, Donna Reed, all that stuff. I was just talking about this the other day. Nickelodeon blew me away. And a lot of people are so young now that they don't realize that splatter of Nickelodeon that's orange, that all culminated from the green slime from You Can't Do That on Television. That's where the slime comes from. It comes from that show. It became a Nickelodeon trademark. The green slime from You Can't Do That on Television. It's crazy. So I don't really understand too much about Canadian TV. I just I know that it's it's definitely like set up different. You get like crazy shows like Heartland and stuff and Trailer Park Boys, but they don't make big waves like Crackle or Tubi. But for the sake of the segue, I will say this: Tubi probably has better shit on it right now than Netflix. I'm not even kiiding, guys. Netflix
There's some shit on Tubi that's really interesting that I've seen. Like some of it's like really like lower budget films that are just like, but there's like sequels, like they're like really low budget. I don't want to say like they feature black artists. Like it's not black exploitation, but it's like,
yeah,
that it's black made movies. And like, there's a big market for that, which is great. Like it is one of the first
nostalgia stuff that people. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say when I was in LA, I actually wrote a treatment for a Haitian actor. Well, he was a writer director, and he was looking to do. This is so funny. The guy was looking to make a movie, kind of like within a movie, and so he was telling me, I don't know why, he's basically like admitting to fraud, which I thought was really funny because we're talking, and he just goes like, "All right, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm making a movie. I've got $1 million budget for that movie. What I want you to do is I want you to write me an action movie that we can make for under 200,000. And I'm going to take that 200,000 out of that $1 million budget and put it into this movie." And I'm like, that seems illegal.
That
illegal. Seems illegal. Yeah. And then the guy's like, "But I'll pay you $2,000 to write this treatment." And I'm all like, I needed money. And I'm
I need $2,000. Fuck it.
Yeah, I never got fucking paid. I never got fucking paid. That's the problem.
So he was shady all the way around.
He was shady all the way around. Shady. Every once in a while, because I sent him the treatment, and he was like, "Oh man, I love this. This is great." Like I set it to like the background of like the big earthquake in Haiti, right? Like a treasure. It was like a kind of not it was like a national treasure-esque sort of thing, but it was like a treasure hunt sort of thing with action and stuff and like mobsters and whatever.
Us being who we are, we know a little bit about each other's past and our movie tastes and stuff. Now, before the indie scene got completely saturated and everybody with an iPhone started making movies, guys like you and me, where's the first place we went when we went to Blockbuster? The indie film section. You know what I mean? That was our shit. Kevin Smith started all that. You know what I mean? Like, and so I live by the code of the artist because I am an artist, okay? And you can critique other people's art, but you should never shit on other people's art. So I understand that a lot of these films were made and they went straight to Tubi or they went straight to, Crackle. And I'm not trying to poop on their art or nothing like that. I understand, but it's so saturated now, you really can't find a good indie film. It all feels like after school Lifetime special bullshit.
But here's the thing: now it's all the best indie is fucking horror, dude.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's absolutely true.
Or like, what's really weird is like, honest to God, like Universal's putting out some good shit. Right? Like they got Cocaine Bear dropping very soon. I know, like you've got Ant-Man 3 next week. I mean, my hype for that's whatever, but I'm fucking overjoyed to check out Cocaine Bear.
Yeah, no.
Which apparently, here's something. If anyone here is in Kentucky or near Kentucky, a Kentucky movie theater apparently is going to be featuring the actual stuffed Cocaine Bear. They've got it.
No, that's a real story. That's a crazy.
It's a real story. The bear lived for 5 minutes, but like high on all the cocaine. But they taxidermied the corpse.
If
I'm
a
like,
vampire bit that bear, it would OD.
dude, I'm just, yeah, no, right. But I'm just saying, like, they've actually, it's because it's based on a true story, and they're going to have the actual bear at a Kentucky theater. And
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
think that's cool. It happened in
motherfucker.
Tennessee, right?
Yes, it happened like
Yeah.
outside of Knoxville. So it's very
Yeah.
weird that it's in Kentucky, but that might
But
just be who
it's
fucking
Ray.
has
Look,
it.
it's Ray Liotta's last movie. Okay, so I'm gonna go just for that, and if just the name alone got me Cocaine Bear. That got me in
Well,
it, and then the trailer was really good.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
there's
So
other like trailers that have come out, I guess. I haven't watched them. Like I'm just not watching them. You know, because I'm just like the trailer sold me. I
yeah.
don't want to get over zealous with the marketing. I did that with Deadpool and it just kind of like hindered the first viewing for me, but this one like looks
Plus, I like to
fantastic.
be surprised. You know,
Yeah,
when I
yeah.
don't.
And I mean, the movie's got a lot of people in it, but like not only like is Universal dropping that one, Universal did Megan, which I thought was fine. It was fun. They did fucking Violent Night, right? $20 million movie. I love Violent
I
Night.
watched it. Did you get my message? And you're like, I
Yeah.
want you to message me right away. Dude,
Yeah.
it's so good.
It was great, right? And they're doing Cocaine Bear. They're doing fucking Renfield in March. You know, so it's like Universal at this point seems to be really trying to like just experiment with these like lower budget, like mid-budget movies that are just like different and zany enough to where like they take chances. And like these things can actually do really fucking well. And I'm like, man, that's the thing where it's like, as much as I love Marvel, as much as I love DC, I don't have like as big a hype as I used to. Like there's I'm going to go see the movies, obviously, but it's like, you know, like I haven't seen Eternals yet. I don't even have a fucking desire. I haven't watched Miss Marvel yet. Before the Marvels comes out, I'll watch it. But until then, I don't really care. You know, it's like not on my radar.
The only one I haven't watched is Miss Marvel.
But I mean, it's like, but the idea there though is just like all those things. Like I know those things are coming. So because I know those things are coming, I'm okay with like kind of going, okay, it's maybe it is what it is. But it's like, you know, like I think the next one I'll probably get really hyped for is like Deadpool 3, which is a couple of years. Daredevil will be one.
Guardians of the Galaxy is one.
Guardians, yeah, because I want to see how that's gonna end.
If they kill Raccoon, I'm just like, you know, James Gunn. I know you listen to Matt Jarbo. I know you do. And listen, if you kill Rocket Raccoon off, I'm done. I'm fucking done with you, son. Just letting you know. Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to James Gunn.
Here's the thing with Danny. She says like, seems like a fun movie talking about Cocaine Bear. Too bad no one will go to AMC now. It's only rolled out in like a couple of places. It's not even a wide release yet. And honest to God, like it's not going to impact anything. Like again, like most people,
it's going to be a cult classic. It's The Edge meets Cocaine.
No, well, it is.
You know
it is like, yeah. But what I mean is like the whole AMC ticket pricing thing. Like they talked about like how the vast majority of the theater is going to be the standard pricing. The value seats are going to be about $2 cheaper, and the premium seats might be like $1 more.
Dude, I'll pay that kind of money, Matt. I will if it's like, okay, I'm going to see Slipknot. If I can get in the pit, I'll pay extra.
Yeah.
If I can get right outside the pit, I'll pay a little less.
Yeah, like people,
and so on and so forth. Yeah. I'm not going to do that for a fucking movie, man.
It's not going to. Here's the thing: go before 4 p.m. doesn't even fucking matter, and you don't even live in a place where it's there. Right? Yeah. Like you don't even live in a place where it's there. And if you have an AMC stubs, like if you go frequently, which is like generally like what they're trying to do, then you don't even worry about it anyway. It doesn't impact you. So it's just
the best thing about where I'm at in the sticks. Okay. Cause I really am. I'll let you know right now where I live between St. Louis and a town called Hannibal and a college town called Columbia. Okay. I'm right in the center of all that. I can hit and Kansas City. I can hit any of them within an hour. Okay. We don't have to do all that fight to get ticket stuff. You know how you got to fight to get a ticket? You got to get online and get it right away so you can get into they don't sell out here. It never happens. Like
I mean, I live an hour outside of Seattle, so it's not like it's that busy here either. I mean, like my theater, we have 2 theaters in the area. Like one of them, I still haven't even bought my tickets for Ant-Man yet. Actually, I'm gonna look it up real quick.
I've never had it like you can't get a ticket. Not for, and it's only happened one time, and you wouldn't believe what movie it was. It wasn't any of the Star Wars stuff. It wasn't any of the Terminator. It wasn't any of the Marvel stuff. I couldn't get tickets for Transformers 3. That's the one that was sold out. I couldn't get
because it's because you're fucking up, man. You gotta get it. You gotta get all that shit. All right. So here's the thing, right? Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, Thursday the 16th. All right. So I'm gonna look at a 3 p.m. showing. Okay, what's available here? All right. So my favorite seat is sold out, and that's perfectly fucking fine. I can just go to another seat and get it. There we go. All right. Add to cart. I'm buying it right now. I have the plan. I'm not gonna pay that. No, I'm not gonna. They want me to do this thing. Do you want to get food delivered to your seat? I'm like, no, you can pound sand.
Exactly. I'll walk the 30 yards. It's okay. I need the exercise.
Yeah, I don't mind. It's on the way in. I can go get my popcorn. There we go. I just bought my ticket for that. And then I'm gonna look up, see if they got Cocaine Bear tickets on sale, and I'm gonna get those as well. I just want to make sure I get them because honestly, I just go, I go see them by myself.
I don't
You
know
know,
how good the movie's gonna be. It feels a lot like the graphics and look, Ant-Man looks cool. I don't care what Grace says. I don't care what all these people say. I'm gonna go see it. Even if it's just for these supposedly tremendous 2 after credit scenes, I'm gonna go see it. But it's not the one I'm super hyped for. I do, however, feel like, and me and a former friend used to argue about this. Okay, I'm not gonna drop his name, but I feel like they are trying to make Scott Lang the new Tony.
I mean, kind of.
You know what I mean by that, though?
Bit.
Make him the heart of the story. Where I think they should switch roles this time. Thanos was a relatable villain, but have any of the villains ever been more relatable than Wanda?
I mean, no. I mean, well, I mean, Thanos was kind of like a villain with a societal overview, right?
Yeah, he
like
believed
he was
he
a
was
villain
right.
about
Yeah.
society. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
like, you know, but
He was
Wanda,
an eco-terrorist.
yeah, but Wanda was very much.
You better laugh. Fuck you, Maddie. That was funny. You don't think that was funny?
I know he was definitely, you know, he probably eats bran and like, you know, braids his pubes because he can't have anything on the head, right? Like, no, he clearly has Birkenstocks.
Yeah,
let's be fair. Like,
definitely.
yeah,
He's a hippie. He's without
I'm
a
surprised
doubt.
he didn't like chain himself to his home planet. You know,
He
at
does.
first.
He wears patchouli. You know he does.
Yeah, he smokes ganja. He's farms. He literally like he killed half the universe and then went and farmed.
What he
right?
should have done was he should have snapped his finger, and when he did the snap, he should have also wished for dreadlocks. But would that have been? I'm about to go there. Would that have been
cultural appropriation? I don't know. My question is, why does Jay-Z look like he's cosplaying as Jake Sully from Avatar: The Way of Water? Did you see Jay-Z like at the Grammys the other night? Like he hasn't got a haircut like in 4 years.
I wanted to talk to you about the Grammys, and I was hoping you would do something about it. But then it's so bad, man.
I don't watch any award show. I don't
either. But the red carpet stuff was hilarious, and then this Sam Smith guy and that Petrus girl, and I was like, okay, cool. I like that. But you and I lived through the Satanic Panic. And now, and it would be the Grammys and groups like that would like tell us we can't listen to Metallica. We got to listen to Bryan Adams and shit like that. And now they literally promote satanic imagery. It's hilarious to me, man. Like so.
I don't know. Well, the way I laugh at that is if red lighting is satanic imagery, Jesus, we have to have a conversation.
Well, it wasn't just red lighting. There was flames, and he was dressed like the devil. And the song is about, you know, and I'm okay with it.
Wait, who sung? I saw the pictures. I don't know who was performing.
It was Sam Smith and Kim Petras.
I don't know who the fuck that is.
Okay, Sam Smith is this. He's like he's a non-binary dude, and then the girl is actually a transgender woman, and she's the first ever transgender to win a Grammy. She was the first. You know? So I was like, okay, that's Kim Petras, Petras. Yeah. Her and I think his name's Sam Smith. I don't know. I just remember the song's catchy. It's called Unholy. Something about the body shop. Daddy's doing something bad. I don't know, but it's a catchy little hook. Anyway.
Oh no, that's the one. That's the one that Saggy had done the Andy Signore.
Maybe.
Unholy. Yeah, that's the one. I think that's the one. I'm just gonna quickly listen to see if this is the.
But Dylan Mulvaney was there, bro. Like Dylan Mulvaney's on the red carpet at the Grammys. Like what? I don't recognize this world anymore, and I was waiting for you to do something about that, but you didn't because you don't really dig too deep in it. You're a movie guy, but yeah. I know you're also a progressive, Maddie. I know when you're not on the film that things like that matter to you. Policy matters to you. Politics matter to you. You know what I mean? So every once in a while, I like to hear you talk about it.
Well, I mean, for me, when it comes to politics, it's like again, like I'm more of the like what's bugging me. And it really boils down to the whole fucking this Hogwarts thing is bugging me. You
Oh,
know,
I told people, Matt called it. It is the new Gamergate. They're trying
it
to push
really,
it.
it really, really, really is.
I
You
told
know,
everybody on my stream, and Matt was right. It's the new Gamergate. He coined it perfect. Gamergate
it's
2.0.
it's just hysterical. Like it's just hysterical how bad it's gotten.
Yeah,
I mean,
did
I
she
was
say
like,
some dumb shit? She absolutely did. Do I agree with what she said? No, but I think live and let live. But at the same time, I'm not gonna boycott a
yeah.
video. Harry Potter didn't do shit to me, bro. You know?
I look at it more like you know, people are like, man, I fucking love Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Mike, he killed 2 people. It's just everything. Like Matthew Broderick, he got a car accident and killed 2 people in the 80s and shit. And they paid for it to go away. There's all this kind of crap that's happened. You know, fucking Caitlyn Jenner, like right before coming out as Caitlyn Jenner, got into a car accident, killed somebody. Came Caitlyn Jenner. No one ever talked about the fucking death. That's why South Park made fun of that. They made fun of her.
Every episode that season, they had her run somebody.
Oh yeah, buckle up, Buckaroo.
Dude, so them Matt and Trey are not afraid to take on anybody.
They're not. And I feel like I don't know, I want to be respectful. My take is I want to be respectful. Because people are going to have different ideas and they're going to have different thoughts and opinions. And I may not have those opinions, but like I don't want to invalidate someone's like lived experience. I really don't, because I don't want them to invalidate my lived experience ultimately. But it's kind of like, for me, it's mostly when people spout bullshit. That's my big deal. But also if you're mad at somebody for something like here's my question, like all the people that are on fucking social media complaining about this game, right? How many of them go to Starbucks frequently? And I'm just going to use Starbucks as a prime example, because a lot of these people would definitely be considered lefties, right? They'd be considered lefties and far left activists, so to speak, right? But it's like, if you go to Starbucks is actually anti-fucking union. They shut down, they've literally fired union leaders at stores. They've done union busting, all that shit. Amazon's done the exact same fucking thing. So all of these people that are like, we support the workers, but fuck that game, because a woman who came up with the concept of it many, many, many years ago, who had nothing to do with the game, might make a little bit of money off of it on the back end. But yeah, but in the meantime, let's order from Amazon and let's buy our Starbucks and let's go do and I don't want to do the whataboutism shit, because I think it's like, it's ridiculous.
No, it's gotten old. It's cringe. The whataboutism it used to work. It used to be a good talking point, but now everybody does it. You know, so I understand exactly where you're coming from. I never been a whataboutism guy either.
Yeah, it's just like, I mean, sometimes whataboutism is funny because it can shut somebody down, but it is true. It is Soviet propaganda, by the way. That is true. But you know, it's all, anyway, I don't want to dive into that shit constantly.
Yeah,
whatever. We're here to laugh at fucking chuds and idiots and stuff. But anyway, let's take a look here at the I just wanted to kind of go over this before you take a look at Sillstream. But it's people that are just talking about this, right? Like this guy here, Dante. It's over when Zack Snyder says it's over. Otherwise, I'm not moving on. I want to see where JL 2 and 3 story has to be finished. Yeah,
I love that voice.
Not
You're
gonna
really
happen,
good at
right?
that. You could probably you could pull it off, Matt. Like you probably could do some voice acting, man.
I
Like,
should. I got a good voice, man. Are you kidding me?
I saw you on with EVS earlier, which blew my mind. But I heard some of the stuff you guys were talking about. You had ideas for comics and stuff like that. And, you know, Ethan's always told me, Chris, just do it. You're an artist. Do it while you still have your eyes. Just do it. I know I'm of the I know it's an unpopular opinion, but I like Ethan. You know what I mean? I loved his run in Green Lantern, and I loved his run for the
is
Flash.
an interesting guy. I don't want to I disagree with him. Look.
Oh, I disagree with him. I know a lot of shit.
I know that when he comes on to Max's stream, he'll play the nice guy role. He does that. All right, he does that. He puts on the nice hat. He comes in. He's charming. He's a little
hired
funny.
Out mercenaries, war campaign. He's not a nice guy. He's just a guy. But I like Ethan.
So
I like his art.
but like,
you know
fine. You can like the art by all means.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I would like. I asked him on the stream, like, could you give what would you recommend for comic writing? Because like you are an accomplished comic book creator. Like I would ask you your opinion about where to begin, because I would love to learn how to write a comic. I know. Like, because I've never I can write scripts. I've written scripts. I've written multiple scripts, but it's like I've never sat down to write a comic. So like, and I have ideas for things I would like to do, because I would like to create more and be more artistic and shit. But I think that's the thing with like people like Ethan and whatnot, is like he knows he's like an internet villain. He knows it. He plays it. That's his deal. Do I think he like believes everything that he says? No. I think he believes an idea of what he says, but he also understands that the key thing there is like getting eyes on what he's trying to do. Like when he did like a 90-minute video of him like just dismantling Rose Tico toys. I mean, like, sure, is that fucking weird and creepy? 100%. But did a lot of people talk about it and watch it?
Oh yeah,
yes.
yeah,
And
they did.
it very much is like the idea of like, don't hate the player, hate the game. I do think though, after a while, you kind of got to start calling out the player, because it's like the game is still pretty fucking rigged in many ways. But the problem though is like, if it's, again, everything we do on this goddamn fucking platform, on the internet in general, is all about how things make us feel, right?
The internet's a very emotional place, and I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah,
everybody wants to go out and try to campaign and politic and get people to believe that they're not. They want people to believe that they're not emotionally invested. Lies. You wouldn't be doing it if you weren't.
Yeah, Spherical Commander says, I enjoyed your Superman debate with EVS. Would you consider doing more in-depth with it? Yeah, I would. Because the thing is, like, this guy's got experience working inside that realm, like working in comics. So he understands
20 years at DC.
He understands like how all this shit plays out. Yeah, he does. But it's like, again, in my debate with him, I'm like, here's how we have to approach it from an adaptational perspective from television and movies and things like this. It's like there is a deconstruction, and that's why I like what Zack did with Man of Steel, because I feel like he had to condense a lot of stuff and make it work on a character-driven storyline.
Not to mention, it doesn't always have to fit, and I love Enosh, I do, but it doesn't always have to fit the original blueprint. You can go off script.
It just makes it very, very different. Rationally for $2, thank you, says Chris Matt, better 90s band, Garbage or Everclear? I'm
gonna go with Garbage because I love Shirley.
I mean, you know what? I mean, like, I would argue Everclear, because we're way off. That's a way off topic thing there. But
it really is, bro.
I would say,
I will buy you a new life.
Yeah, I think Everclear is the more poppy version of it. I think more people probably like would know Everclear. Right. But I've seen Garbage in concert, and Shirley Manson's hot as fuck. So it's like,
she's phenomenal.
We saw her.
Everclear though. What was their first big hit, Matt? Come on, you know it. What was it? You try to be everything to everyone. That was their first big hit. Remember that? Yeah.
Yeah. I saw them once walking through Pasadena. I think it was. I was in LA. I was somewhere in LA.
What were you doing in Pasadena?
I worked in Pasadena. Like when I lived in North Hollywood, I worked in Pasadena. And like, Pasadena is only like about 15 miles away from like Burbank.
I don't know why I thought you worked in Burbank. I thought
I lived down the street from Burbank. I was a straight shot down Victory to get there. And everything else. I was about 4 miles from the downtown heart of Burbank.
So you were in Pasadena with like all the baddies.
I worked on the outskirts of old Pasadena, so it was mostly the homeless. So yeah. And the Phantom Masturbators. We had the Phantom Masturbators.
Is that a real thing, or are you just making shit up?
No, I'm not making that up. I'm not making that up.
Wow,
I'll tell you real quick. This dude would come in. I don't know what he looks like. He was, as far as he was described to us, he was like about a 30-year-old skinny African American male. And that's about all we knew, right? And it was like, that's what people would say. And so what happens is he would come to the theater, he'd pay the $3, he'd go in, he'd sit down, he'd sit about like he'd separate himself from a woman, right? Or a couple women or whatever, about 1 or 2 seats away from like not within reaching distance,
Okay. So
enough distance there. So if they react,
this sounds like a true crime episode.
This is a true crime thing. This was the true case of actual sexual harassment that was happening. And you could even call it, to an extent, sexual assault, I would believe, right? It was definitely harassment.
If anyway, it gets on them, it's definitely sexual
as far as I know, he never finished, because like we never heard that. But what would happen is like the way the theater was structured was like you could exit quickly and no one would know. Like there was the street on one side, the alleyway on the other, and you could just be out, right? Our bottom 4 auditoriums, you could just be done. You exit out one door, and then there's the exit to the road or the alley. You're done. So it's like not even a problem. barely an inconvenience for this guy to get the fuck out of there. So what he would do is he would start watch the movie, get every 20 minutes into the movie, and he would just start fucking cranking his gherkin. And then like, but he would like, get the woman's attention basically. You're like, he'd look at her or whatever. And then like, if she reacted, he'd freak out, he'd run. 9 times out of 10. And I mean this, when I say this happened quite often, it happened often. The women would come out and they'd complain like, do you know this guy was in the theater and he was like masturbating while we were watching this movie? And I'm like, wow, holy shit. Like, what did he look like? I'm so sorry. Yeah. And they give the description, whatever. And I'm like, okay, well, when was this? Yeah, this is like an hour ago. And then I'm like, wait, what? Like, wait, what's going on? Like, why didn't you're just telling me this now? Yeah. Like, why didn't you guys come tell us when it was happening? Because we'd like to bust this guy, before he busts, right? And they're like, oh, I didn't want to miss the movie.
I saw what you did there.
Yeah, I did. But no, they literally would tell me, that they did not want to miss the movie. That's why I'm like, it's I'll refund your goddamn money. That's dedicated. That's LA for you, right? Movies are movies are life in Los Angeles. When you go see a movie, it doesn't matter. The auditorium could be literally on fire, but you're like, I just gotta see where this goes. I'm really invested into this right now. And the fiery backdrop is a really, really, really nice ambiance to what I'm watching. About 2 gay cowboys eating chocolate pudding on a fence. If you know that old South Park reference. Do you know that? No. Do you know about that? South Park predicted Brokeback Mountain by like 2 years.
No, I didn't know that.
If you go back to, I think it's like season 5 or 6 or whatever. Like,
I just knew Sundance directed it. And
Sundance comes to South Park, right? And so Cartman, like Wendy wants to go watch them, and Cartman's like, all indie movies are just nothing but 2 gay cowboys sitting on a fence eating chocolate pudding. That's what he says. So I'm not kidding you. So like that episode airs, everyone knows that joke. I'm in film school in early 2005. And my teacher comes in and he's like, and have you guys hear about this movie called Brokeback Mountain? And the class is like, no, we haven't heard anything about that yet. And he goes, it's Heath Ledger and Jake Gyllenhaal, and they're 2 gay cowboys. And then the entire class is like sitting on a fence eating chocolate pudding. Right? Everyone says it because we all got the reference. But he's like, no, my teacher got it too. And he's like, no. I thought it was a South Park thing as well. It's not, it's a real movie. And then lo and behold, the movie came out. And I'll tell you this though, it's like, I've never seen Brokeback, not because I don't want to see it. I hear it's a great movie, but like that meme is so ingrained in my brain. I'm just going to like chuckle all the way through it. And I know that's not right, but that's still pretty funny. South Park is so 1998. Try 1997. Bigger, Longer, Uncut came out in August of 1999. That was like way that shit. All right. Okay. Command Unit here for 5. Thank you. Says, my question is, why doesn't Hollywood hire homeless people to star in films? They would fit very well and it would solve the homelessness problem. So, couple reasons with that. Big factor is it's the unions. All right. They need the unions are a factor. You need to have, when you register with the Screen Actors Guild, you got to have an address because they have to send you documentation, right? You have to have an address. There's also hygiene issues that happen. There's mental health issues that happen. The homeless population of Los Angeles, largely substance abuse issues, mental health issues. And like the guy who threatened me and had the gun, right, claimed to have the gun that I distracted, he got arrested finally that night by the cops. And 2 days later, I see him outside of my theater pushing a cart.
Wow.
Because they got nowhere to put him. Right. He technically didn't really commit any crime. They're not going to be able to they could ticket him, right, for jaywalking, but they know he won't be able to pay it. So they don't even bother ticketing him. Like, they look the other way when it comes to a lot of the people who are unhoused because they know that there's nothing that can be done. Like, it's entirely probable that the guy that they pulled away from my theater, they could have just driven him like a mile down the road and let him the fuck out. And they most likely did, because it's just like, fuck it. It ain't worth the paperwork. It ain't
No,
worth
I
the
bet
paperwork.
that. I bet that's exactly what. Man,
Like, does he have a gun? If he had an actual weapon, that's a different story.
yeah.
But he had made the threat of it. And it's like, he can't afford to make bail. He can't afford an attorney. So a public defender would be granted. They would, whatever fine is imposed based upon the crime committed would definitely
Time, resources, and money wasted.
Yeah.
Man.
It's just, wouldn't be, it took me 3 calls to get them to show up anyway.
Damn.
That is how much the Pasadena Police Department did not give a fuck about the homeless, right? Like, they didn't care. I was on the phone with them as a cop was passing. I said, "Oh, this cop. Oh, I see the officer. They're here." And the dispatch goes, "Oh, no, that one's not for you." I was like, and I'm like,
shit.
no shit. Not even making that up.
That one's not.
Literally said that to me on the phone. And I'm all like,
wow.
I don't know what to do then. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, I'm trying to keep this guy distracted. Like, I don't fucking know. And the security guard the company had hired, for us after our manager got decked out by a homeless guy who we got into an altercation with. And this dude was like 4'11". Nice guy, but like definitely not a security guard that's going to be able to do anything. And I'm the one that got in between this guy and the crowd. And it wasn't until the guy had fallen over because he dropped his cane and he fell down that the security guard ran out, grabbed the cane, and then like ran back over and was like, "Okay, you're not going to get up now." And I'm just like, "Oh, where the fuck have you been?"
The security guard was really that small.
Like, I make $9 an hour, bitch. I'm not going to be killed for $9 an hour.
Yeah, and that's the problem with, oh man, my life ain't worth your fucking, like some guy's in the convenience store and he's trying to steal a fifth of cheap vodka or some Snickers bars. I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? I'm just not. I'm not getting killed to protect your bottom line. Fuck out of here. And they expect you to.
It's like when I was, even tonight, I had an order tonight. It was a Jack in the Box order. And I pick it up and it was like 2 miles away and it was like $10. I'm like, oh, that's not bad. That's pretty good. It's been kind of shit recently. So I drive over to the place and like, it's a rundown ass apartment building. Like the apartment's in the very back of the unit. It's all dark back there. It's a darkened staircase, which after I fell and hurt my back 2 years ago, I'm paranoid of darkened staircases.
Hostile.
Right?
It's like that movie Hostile.
Kind of. So I go up the stairs and I got their Jack in the Crack and I walk up the stairs and I went to the wrong landing because I can't really see. And I realized that it's the wrong landing because the windows are busted out. The door is boarded up and the entire thing smells like piss. Just reeks of piss. And I'm like, I don't believe this is the right place. So I find the right apartment and I get the fuck out of there. It's bad. I had a kind of a shady ass feeling when I was there. And I'm like, damn, I couldn't imagine living in a place like that. You know what I mean? But some people do. They fucking do. And it's like, that is where, like, a lot of this stuff, these problems kind of stem from. Like these neighborhoods need more resources to be able to like help the people. Anyway, it's the pissening. There we go. Rational says a movie theater near me, security is armed with a Glock 37. I mean, yeah, it can happen, man. That kind of shit can happen.
I'm Second Amendment guy, man. I'm people think I'm kidding when I say I'm not kidding. I am never at any point in the day or night more than 5 feet away from one of my firearms.
It's so funny because like people, there's this weird idea that lefties don't like guns.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
We fucking love them.
It's
what
gun
the fuck
control. Yeah, I don't know.
No, we want like stronger and tighter background checks, and we want people to not die, but we still love our guns.
Yeah, I love my guns.
Let's make no fucking mistake about that. We love our guns. So it's like
my girlfriend's got a better gun than I do.
I'll tell you this though. You know what freaks the fuck out of a lot of right wingers, right? Lefties who are organized with guns. Like that's the whole thing. Like the Black Panthers back in the 60s, right? They knew their rights. They knew their rights.
Yeah.
They carried.
They were like the first to do it too, man.
Yeah, and that was intimidating. I've seen those photos.
Yeah.
You could tell like the people on the other side where they were intimidated as fuck. I'm all like, look, man, these are rights that are in my mind, not inalienable. So it's like, yeah, you got to deal with that shit. Anyway, let's get back on topic here.
Yeah.
Well, Command,
I always do this. I always come in here and I.
No, it's all right. It's all right. The conversations people always tend to enjoy the off script stuff. You know, we are going to get into this. We're going to go back to the Snyder stuff here in a second. But Command Unit here for 5. Thank you. Says they expect you to risk your life. Here is the first thing that they teach you not to do when you start working. Yeah. Well, no, they do that. They do that now. All right. Now, like I was watching a video on Reddit this morning of a guy in like a Foot Locker just grabs like a big extra large like trash bag from like a restaurant or whatever, like a clear trash bag, and he just walks in. He's got a bandana on, and he just starts like casually grabbing boxes of shoes off the shelf and putting them in the bag. Fills up the bag like he's fucking Santa Claus of fucking Nike, and he just walks out. And like that's the thing. Like, and I'm like, California, because that's the thing. California is really big on that. Like you hear about like, you know, but I'll tell you this though, right? So you know, did you hear the thing last year with Walgreens?
Oh yeah,
like, there's all this. Yeah. Did you know that that the CEO of Walgreens has actually come out and said we might have actually over exaggerated on how much of that was really happening, or how much of that impacted our bottom line, like the theft that they had that they told everyone not to get involved with. You know, like I mean, if you go to 7-Elevens now or whatever, people can do beer runs. Right. And like they just walk out with the beer and they're told not to say anything or do anything, because it's really like the medical expenses in case your employee gets hurt is way more than the cost of losing a 6-pack. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And even then the police aren't going to do shit. They'll take a report. Right. They'll take a report.
It's got to be under a certain amount now.
Yeah. Like under 500 for a felony, I think. Right. And they're not even going to fuck with you for like anything like that's like, you know, for a misdemeanor for theft and shit. Right. If you just walk out, like now, if you're brandishing a weapon, that's a different story. But if it's just like a beer run sort of thing, generally nothing's going to happen. But like I heard that Walmart keeps tabs on how much you steal. So if you are a person who steals a lot from Walmart, they keep tabs on how much you steal. And if you cross over that $500 mark, like tabulation, right? They add everything up. Then they will bust you, because at that point, then it's a felony. So I'm thinking, I mean, I've heard that's true. I've heard it's not true. It depends on who you talk to, but I'm thinking to myself, like, so if I went into Walmart and I stole an Xbox Series X, it's $299. They won't say shit. But the PlayStation 5 is $500.
They might tackle you at the door.
Now the question then becomes, if it's $499.99, because nothing at Walmart ends with 00, right?
Exactly.
So if it's right under 500, and they round up, by the way, they do round up if it hits like over that amount or whatever, like over $499, they round up to 500, I think.
I know.
But it's like if that was the case, if it was very specific under $500 and it's like 1 penny difference, like I almost feel like at that point, if that was the case, like they should just applaud you on your way out the door. Like that is the closest without going over.
Unless they factor in tax.
Yes, that's the other side of that, right? Do they factor in tax into this shit? Now you're getting a whole other fucking ball game.
Yeah, now you're like $20 over.
Now you got to know way more than that, dude. You're looking at like 9% on 500. That's at least fucking $45.
Yeah, that's like $45. Holy
right?
shit.
So you got to start calculating that in there. You got, all right, so what if I take out the controller, because I could return that.
Just go in there with your iPhone, have the calculator out, work it out perfect. Hit the door. Work that shit out.
I'm just saying, you guys. There's just so much that goes into this shit that it's like, and I don't steal nothing. You know what I mean? Like I forgot, like I had like a little thing of like $1 fucking Gold Bond hand lotion I had put in my pocket because I was at Justin's with my kid, and I caught it, and I'm like, oh fuck, go back and pay for it. You know, I'm like, this is my pocket. Sorry guys. Don't tase me, bro, over $1. They're not going to care. Like, they don't care. These employees, they make minimum fucking wage. They don't give a shit.
Read it in your voice.
Oh, read this thing in my voice?
Yeah.
Okay, I will. But just to kind of, as a segue back to this, let's look at these people, the people that are pushing the Zack Snyder's Justice League to Netflix, especially all this shit. Let's look at them like minimum wage employees for Zack Snyder.
Who would have all lived on the Waco compound. I mean,
most, yeah, they all, or Hail Bop, they all would have got their Adidas tracksuits and drank the Kool-Aid. While listening to Bop from fucking Hanson.
Nice.
Hey, old Bop, y'all gonna fucking die now. Skibidoo, drink the Kool-Aid, you fucking bitches. Skibidoo. Do you know 2 people were left alive to take care of the bodies? 2 people did
The
not drink
Heaven's
the
Gate
Kool-Aid at
people
the
or
Heaven's
the-
Gate.
yeah.
2 people, the Heaven's Gate people, did not drink the Kool-Aid. They did not die. Their job was to like manage the bodies. Like
Just
it's
a
a
crazy story.
and
That's
they're
a
still
crazy
they're
fucking
still
story.
alive, and they have a website even, like they update the website and shit. Yeah, it's a whole crazy story. Anyway, so yeah, let's get back. All I'm talking about here, like you got to look at these people like these keyboard warriors, like they're kind of employees for some of this shit. And the reason why it's funny is because they like what we have to understand is that all these guys out there that are just like hashtag sell Zack Snyder Justice League, right? Snyder doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about any of you. Not as far as he can throw you. Not as far as you would hope. Like if you were in a burning fire, he might, like thoughts and prayers. Okay. Like that's about as far as it's gonna go. And I'm not like, I mean,
He wouldn't even
he-
say it. It would just be like a tweet.
It would just be like thoughts and prayers. Yeah, there was SnyderCon, major fire, 500 people passed away. Thoughts and prayers. No, I'm kidding. They're gonna Snyder die and shit. Go fuck yourselves, you fucking moralistic bastards. To kind of quote Jordan Peterson, "Up yours, woke moralists." I love that fucking quote. I don't like Jordan Peterson, but I think that's so goddamn funny. But anyway, so this person here, Sir Sane, the new one, says here, well, to be honest, I may have considered believing in the statement if it had been said after 2/14. It's a bit suspicious that it happens a week before it begins, which is why I'm still hashtag the Snyderverse on that date. Yeah, I mean, and then they do this here, right? It's all like Pacific time, 6 a.m. Fuck yeah, I'm going to be up at 6 a.m. next fucking Tuesday. Or whatever the fuck it is.
It's got every time zone.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
there's
overkill, guys. What the fuck?
If you don't know your time zone but India is somehow 7:30 p.m.
Paraguay. They got fucking Paraguay on the list. Like what? I'm telling you, man. Skywalker started that little hashtag and it got some traction, and that shit blew his head the fuck up. He really thinks he's like the leader of some crusade. It's crazy. These people are crazy. And why Valentine's Day?
Valentine's Day is because Zack's original cut of Justice League was 2 hours and 14 minutes. That was that's why. That's why. Yeah, no. It's crazy. That's why.
I'm at a loss for words. That almost never happens. I'm speechless.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is, right? Like this is what this is the kind of shit that they fucking live for. This is
how did you know that, you fucking nerd? How did you?
Because I'm a fucking nerd.
Okay, just check.
You're like, how did you know that pejorative of which you already identify? Jesus, dude. No, I'm a fuck because I pay the fuck attention.
No shit.
Oh wait, why the fuck is Chernobyl trending? Let us all die. All right, so here we go. This is one. There are people who are just taking James Gunn's word and others who are challenging it. All I'm saying is cults are known to do the former. I guess she's kind of right on that one, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Are just taking, so cults are, well, she's saying here, they're just taking the word for it and the other ones are challenging it. And it's just the cults always do the first one. So, the funny thing about that is it's stupid, right? To say that because like James Gunn, it's not like it's some random pendejo. That's the difference, right?
Exactly.
Like, I think,
and it's like I said in my tweet earlier to RJ, and then I put a tweet out with an actual. You got to see that comment. Oh, you did see the comment, right? You were like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah,
these people.
Yeah, they saw a picture of you in front of Stone Quarry, and clearly that means that they're frightened by your prowess.
I was just like, wow.
Did he just get mistaken as a California raisin? Like, what the fuck's going on?
James Gunn fucking bodied them today. They can say whatever they want, but you might as well be playing 2008 Gears of War and rocking your Nasher with an active reload, okay? Because they got fucking bodied today. When the head of DC says, nah, son, shut it the fuck down in a nice way, keep
very
going.
Polite way, yeah.
I don't get it, man. I don't. And at first I thought maybe it is a grift, but now, all jokes aside, I'm being dead serious right now. It's going to sound funny, but I'm being dead serious. I think these people have lost faith and hope, and they just need something to believe in. So they jump on any kind of ludicrous crusade they can. And a lot of them are just mentally ill.
You know who I'm reminded of, right? And this might be a very odd analogy or comparison, but I view them at this point now. I think you're correct. I view them kind of like the Juggalos.
Yeah.
These guys are like the Juggalos of like movie fandom,
or like new age digital gangbangers.
Yeah,
I'm gonna join this gang, you know.
Yeah, but it's like this the silliness of Juggalos is, you know, well, part of their endearing culture. Like, did you ever watch the documentary American Juggalo?
No,
You should. It's like 17 minutes.
I know I'm not an ICP fan, but I will say this much. Don't get me started on Juggalos. All right, Hatchet Man and all that shit. My friend Eric.
But Chris, what is a Juggalo?
It's a
motherfucking pimp.
It's just a dude that I don't know, man.
What is a Juggalo?
Motherfucking pimp. I'm just saying, I never did like them. I never liked their style, but Juggalo's got some longevity to them, man. They've been around for a minute. Them and that Faygo soda. Do they even make Faygo anymore?
Yeah, like, Faygo was only really found like in one place though. That was Fuddruckers.
I'm sorry, they're just cringe to me, man. And I'm sorry if you have any in the audience, but Juggalos are they're fucking.
But hold on. I wanna recite some lyrics from that song, and I want to see if it applies to Snyder fans. So I'm gonna kind of like spoken word perform.
What is like? I need bongos.
A little bit, yeah. So the question is, what is a Juggalo? Let me think for a second. Oh, he gets butt naked, and then he walks through the streets winking at freaks with a 2-liter stuck in his butt cheeks. What is a Juggalo? He just don't care. He might try to put a weave in his nut hair, 'cause he could give a fuck less what a bitch thinks. He'll tell her that her butt stinks and all that. What is a Juggalo? He drinks like a fish, and then he starts hugging people like a drunk bitch. Next thing, he's picking fights with his best friends, and then he starts with the hugging again. Fuck. What is a Juggalo? A fucking lunatic. Somebody with a rope tied to his dick, and then he jumps out a 10-story window. Oh, what is a Juggalo? That's what it is. Well, fuck if I know. What is a Juggalo? I don't know, but I'm down with the clown, and I'm down for life, yo. Hold on, here we go.
Are you reading that off?
I am literally reading. Yeah, I've heard the song so many times.
I thought you knew the words.
No, I mean, dude, I've listened to the Great Milenko. No. I mean, I owned the Great Milenko album. I love the album. I like the album.
The little skits.
Yeah, it's a good album.
Like the suicide sketch is pretty funny.
The Nedden game was pretty good.
When he's like, "Do it, you won't fucking do it. I dare it. I dare you to do it." And then you hear the gun go off, and he's like, "Did you do it?" And he's like, "I'm still here." Yeah. Hello.
So, but I think here's the thing, right? Here's a kind of a passage towards the end of the song. What is a Juggalo? A dead body. Well, he ain't really dead, but he ain't like anyone you've ever met before. He'll eat Monopoly and shit out Connect 4. What is a jug? What the fuck? Connect 4? Man, that shit is whack. Don't worry about my shit. Just rap, motherfucker. What is a Juggalo? He ain't a bitch boy. He'll walk through the hills and beat down a rich boy. Sorry, this is such a funny song.
Add a verse about a black Superman suit. Somehow it needs to be in there.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Fourth grade science project.
Goober for $5. Thank you. Beautiful reading of Juggalo. Thank you. It's I would love to get into like spoken word poetry of that shit. Would be great.
A lot of Juggalos, they just cringe me out, but I do respect the fact that they've been around so long. You know what I mean? Like I do. They are a community. Like they really are.
Yeah, and that's kind of the point. See, Juggalos though, like they're hardcore. Like they're hardcore. They believe in the life, you know, all that shit. Like I said, if you get the opportunity, watch American Juggalo. It's a really interesting little like I would show it here, but there's like full frontal nudity in it.
No, so I watch a lot of the indie documentaries. Like I watched like the one, the People versus George Lucas and all that stuff. I watch a lot of those indie docs, and they're pretty good, man. I would actually like to watch these. I've been around them my whole life, man. The Midwest is just thick with them. Don't think they're not. Well, because they're from Detroit. You know, the Midwest is just thick with Juggalos. And you know, my friend Erica, she moved to Florida, and she's a hardcore Juggalo, man. Like her job used to, like, no joke, she used to work for Tech 9. Like that was her job.
Oh wow.
Was to like make sure, like, whatever that job is, where they're like, okay, I don't want any brown M&Ms, and make sure the water's this kind, and that event coordinator or whatever, like that's what she would do in St. Louis whenever anyone came to the city, and she would sometimes travel with Tech Nine, and this guy named Chris Calico, spelled with a Z, Chris Calico, and she would just have all these juggalos around her, man. It was blow my mind. There's be so many of them, you know what I mean? Like, just you go into a park and they're just like, there's 200 of them trying to there's like 200 motherfuckers at a park having a barbecue.
Yeah, it's like 199 men and one woman, and they're all trying to get with her.
Yeah, not only that, but like they brought like enough hamburger to feed 4 people.
That sounds about right for a juggalo in regards to their organization.
No hamburger buns. They brought Wonder Bread. Like, no joke, man.
Hey, well, don't knock the Wonder Bread for the buns.
I'm just saying,
dude,
there's something.
Okay. Yeah,
there's something romantic to be said about that kind of community.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, I as much as they cringe me out, I gotta respect them.
Got it. I mean, I guess so. Okay, Rational here dropped a quick one, and this is quick, and then we're gonna get to the stream. Foo Fighters versus Pearl Jam. I'm gonna go Foo Fighters. Just overall, I've always enjoyed them more. It's not that I don't like Pearl Jam. I do, but I've just always been more of a Foo Fighters fan. I mean, they're different timing. It'd be like Pearl Jam versus Nirvana would probably be more accurate.
I didn't like them at first.
Wait, which one?
Foo Fighters. I didn't like them, and then they grew on me over the years, and now they're one of my
motherfucker. How do you not like Learn to Fly?
No, that's when I started to like them.
Okay.
That first one, when I Stick Around and all that shit, I was like, is that the drummer from Nirvana? Like, and I was never a big Nirvana fan. Everybody hates me, but I never was. Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, Soundgarden. Those were like my. But I do love Foo Fighters. But I gotta go.
What do you think of Collective Soul?
I actually like Collective Soul because they're so different.
Yeah,
they're very different. That's why I like them.
I was invited to go see Collective Soul in San Diego on my birthday back in 2008. And but the thing is, though, the guy who invited me, I didn't really like.
There you go.
He was a friend. He was a friend from school, but he was like one of those annoying guys. Like, it was really generous of him to offer, but like my other friends were like, "Hey, we're gonna do a birthday bonfire for you." So like we just did a big bonfire.
They are a good band, man.
They're great.
Like everyone's like, "Oh, December Morn" or whatever, and then everyone's like, "No, Heaven Let Your Light Shine Down" or whatever that song is, and I'm like, dude, whatever, man.
Shine down
to where the river flows. That's the one I like.
Oh yeah,
dude, that riff, dun 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 dun. What a great riff!
If you listen to the, I think it's the Jerky Boys trailer, that's on there. That's on the trailer for the Jerky Boys movie. Have you ever seen the Jerky Boys movie?
Yeah, that's the prank caller guys, right?
Yeah.
That's
like
90s. That's mid-90s,
that's
right
90s,
there.
Dude.
That's 94, 95 at the peak.
I think that's like where the whole "you kicked my dog" came from. I think that was Jerky Boys.
They were funny on the albums and stuff. That movie was garbage.
That movie was dumb, but it was fun dumb. I don't care. It was fun dumb. I liked it. I remember I had the soundtrack even Coolio had a track.
Well, the soundtrack was dope. The soundtrack was the best part of that movie.
You want to hear a good soundtrack that no one ever talks about is The Cable Guy.
Cable Guys.
The Cable Guy had a good soundtrack. They even had.
I got one for you.
What's that?
You might, because you're a movie guy. You might know this movie. A lot of people don't. Emilio Estevez, Cuba Gooding Jr.,
Judgment Night.
Judgment Night. Bro, that fucking soundtrack.
I don't remember the soundtrack, but
it was like one of the first mashups. You would have like De La Soul with Teenage Fan Club. You know what I mean? It was and it was so good, and the movie was good too. That was Dennis Leary at his best. Those years right there. He made a great villain. He was funny. He was doing movies like The Rev. I loved Dennis Leary.
You had Cypress Hill and Pearl Jam, Real Thing. Faith No More, Boya Tribe, House of Pain and Helmet did a track.
House of Pain and Helmet. That's
Ice-T and Slayer.
Yeah, dude. Well, he had Body Count. Remember, he had that band Body Count. Ice-T did. Ice-T was in a metal group back then.
I gotta listen to the soundtrack and shit. It's all.
But the very first song, Teenage Fan Club with De La Soul, you'll love it. Just play the first. Just It's so good. It's so Matt. It's our youth, bro. It really is. You'll love that song, man. It's so good.
I'm trying to, yeah. I can't play it on stream because I'll
No,
get
I
fucking.
get it.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
so
okay,
good,
yeah.
man.
Like
It's
that's
so good.
like I was like my kids are just like, put on fucking, they'll be like, we'll drive home from school and they'll be like, play Blippi Excavator. And I'm all like, man, I don't want to listen to that shit. Let's listen to some fucking like some like Metallica. I'm like, let's listen to some Metallica.
Yeah, my
and
daughter will come in every once in a while and put me up on some shit though. You know what I mean? Like she's the one that put me up on Post Malone because I don't really reach out for new music very much anymore. And then I started liking Post Malone. Then I lived in New York for a while, and my friends drugged me to a Post Malone concert. I was the oldest guy there. I'm not even kidding, dude. And everybody kept coming up to me. Have I ever told you the story? The girls would come up to me and be like, did you bring your daughter? That's so cool. And I'm like, no, my friends made me come to see this concert. Oh my God, that's even cooler. And people were taking selfies with me like I was a fucking celebrity just because I was the oldest bastard there.
They've never seen anyone as old as you before.
Never
That's
seen
really what it boils down to.
I felt horrible.
They're like, what time capsule did you come out of?
But I reach out and find some new music. Like she put me up on Skillet, Avenged Sevenfold. Like my kid put me up on that stuff, so, and I put her up on stuff. Like she loves that Jay-Z Linkin Park stuff. She loves that album, and she wasn't even born yet when that album came out. So I understand it. I don't know what that song is you said though. What Blippi what?
Blippi is a children's entertainment guy.
Oh, okay. So it's like Kids Bop.
It's kids. It's like a song called it's like not Kids Bop, but like it's an original song, but it's like, the song goes like, excavator, I'm a dirt separator. It's a kid's song.
Oh, it's like an educational song,
but it's catchy as fuck though. It's so great.
It
like
must be because you're singing it.
My kids like, I hear shit all the time. I'm trying to get dad though. I'm trying to get them back into Blippi, or not Blippi, Bluey, but they're like, fucking Blippi, we want to watch. Like my daughter, my 3-year-old's all like, she's learning to spell, so she's like, because at the end of every video he goes like, okay, well, look for my name on YouTube. He does it smart.
Your next super chat's going to be Blippi or Bluey.
It's probably going to be Blippi or Bluey, yeah. But then he ends up going like, and the answer, I'll hold off until that happens. But he literally goes like, he'll just be like, how do you spell my name? And it's like Blippi. And my 3-year-old's all like, Bli. She's learning to talk still. So she'll be like, Blippi. And then he's got a new girl on there, Mika, and that's Meekah. And so she's like, Mika. So it's like they're learning a lot from watching it. Like they work on the colors, and it's really good for like early childhood education. Yeah.
Cool.
And so and they get a kick.
Grew up on like Blue's Clues and shit, So yeah, I get it.
What I fucking hate though is there's like these other little like Ruby and Bonnie blogs that like my 5-year-old watches, and if she watches a bunch of that shit, like if she grabs a tablet and hides off or whatever, like her attitude fucking changes on that shit. She'll be like, I want this toy. We'll go to the store. She'll like, I want a Kinder Egg. And then I have to fight the urge to go, I want a Tenga egg, but we ain't going to get what we want, do we?
I used to have that problem with.
Do you know what a Tenga egg is?
No, but I know what a Kinder Egg is. I don't know what a Tenga egg is. Why are you snickering? What am I walking into?
Because I can't, because it's something I don't say it in front of my kid, but it's a joke I make in the middle in my own head. A Tenga egg. I'm gonna go and say Tenga egg. All right, hold on. I'll make sure I get this right. Yeah. Well, here we go. All right. Here we go. Let's see. Okay. There's nothing dirty on this website. So a Tenga egg includes some of more popular disposable masturbators. These small eggs contain super stretchable Elsa Tomer sleeve that suits most sizes. Each design reflects the internal details so that you'll enjoy different sensations from each.
Your kids don't watch the stream, right? You're good. You got that on lock, right?
3 and 5. Okay. Look at this here. Look at this. Easy beat a hard-boiled egg package.
Wow.
With hard shit.
Wow.
What the fuck? These are disposable masturbators.
Insane, man.
Meta here says, why am I not surprised? I'm just saying, guys, you gotta just like, this is a real product.
It's crazy. But then again, does anything shock you anymore? They make flashlights you can fuck on the job. You know what I mean? It's like nothing shocks me anymore.
Yeah, I know. I just don't understand. Okay, hold on. Here's the diorama for how it works. All right.
I'm with Zachary though, because he's like, Jesus Christ, Robo, because it's like only you would know that shit. Like you pull up some wacky shit.
But look at
bro.
this. But look at this. It's super stretch material to fit various sizes. All right. Like and they're kind of giving you an example there. You've got your wavy, boxy brush tornado sphere.
All right,
Silky
I'm not
number
even
2.
kidding. I'm not even joking. I want you to, in the private chat, I want you to DM me a link where I can order that. I'm not kidding. I'll do an unboxing on your stream. I'm going to order it right now.
I don't. I mean, I'm pretty sure you could go to another website to see how that stuff plays out. Anyway,
Meta. I'm sorry, bro. I couldn't make your stream because I was streaming. It wasn't like a personal thing. I was gonna stream with Meta the other day, yesterday, I think it was, but I had a stream already set up, so I ain't seen Meta in a while. He's been kind of ghosted everybody, man. I was worried about him a little bit.
Yeah, like he's definitely. I've seen Meta, not for a while. But all right, here we'll get to the Sill stuff. We'll get to the Sill stuff here. Jess here says, for a minute I thought you were talking about the Tenga creatures from Power Rangers.
And the chat blame me this time. I didn't derail shit. He started bringing up the jerk off eggs, not me. So just,
I mean, you know what? I saw an opening and I took it. Okay. I saw an opening.
Talk about how my kid freaked out Thomas the Train or whatever, and he couldn't. My stepson, he's down the hall right now. That's who I live with. We bought the house together, and when he was young, I've raised him since he was like 8, and I ain't never seen nobody freak out over Thomas the Train. But I'll bet you could find some masturbatory aid that has a train theme to it, couldn't you, Matt? You could do that, Matty. I know you could.
Hold on.
He's gonna.
Hold on. Hold
no,
on.
Go to the Sill thing. Go to the Sill thing.
Hold on. Let's just see what Google comes up with here. I can't shut that on. Oh no, it's just okay. No, it's not bad. It just looks bad from a distance. I mean, I just Googled Thomas the Tank Engine sex toy, and nothing really pops up. You know, nothing really pops up at all, and that's good. That's good.
That's a good thing.
That's
a
good
thing. So what's Sill talking about?
Let's hold on, but wait, hold on. I just gotta go one more angle here. What's Thomas the Tank Engine Rule 34? Oh my God, there it is.
Wow,
there it is. There it is. I found it. All right, hold on. I'm copying the link because I can't. I'm gonna post it in the chat. Y'all can go see it. I can't. I don't know if that's gonna work or not. That might be too fucking long. Hold on here. I agree. All right, I found it. God damn, you Google one fucking thing, and then you find what you're looking for. If y'all want to know what Thomas the Tank Engine sex toy looks like, follow that link. There you go. There you have it, folks. So
there's a bundle. I can buy a bundle.
There you go. So there's if you want to see it, Chris. I'm not going to bring it up on that.
Okay, yet. Just so you guys know, I am ordering the bundle, and I will be doing Tenga egg giveaways on my channel for Valentine's. Just like, I'm not kidding, Maddie.
There you go. That's how you do it. You alone? You won't be tonight. I'm gonna send you a jerk off toy, but it's not anything.
I literally just ordered it.
That's Jesus. Spherical Manor says, I'm surprised Matt hasn't asked artificial intelligence to create sex toys. I mean, like that's a little different. I posted, you know what it might be? I posted it in the chat. I'll try it and see here if it does it. Because it might be
the wank engine.
it might have a trouble seeing that there. All right. I posted the link and it didn't come through. So
what a great play on words. Thomas the wank engine, not the tank engine. Wow. That's definitely British.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Anyway, it's Thomas the Tank Engine whose face has been replaced by a fleshlight.
Yeah, but it's funny, and you found it. All right.
But not finding it from what I looked up. I looked up Thomas the Tank Engine sex toy, nothing there. And then I just do Thomas the Tank Engine Rule 34, and it's like the 4th image I see, and I'm all like, that's what I was waiting for. Is like somebody who clearly understands the concept of having sex with Thomas the Tank Engine, right? Now, it's something you look up after you watch Bullet Train, because you're going to ask yourself, I wonder what Diesel would do to that.
That was a really fun movie, by the way.
That was a great film. I loved Bullet Train. All right, so let's take a look here at this. This is Sill. This is a cope. This is a con man. We have to definitely look at this from the con man perspective and realize, because we know James Gunn shut it down, right? We shut it down. He did everything on this one. We know all that. And then, but now the guy's got to protect the grift. So I haven't watched this yet, so it's a little bit. We won't go through the whole thing, but we'll just kind of like listen to how much.
Speed it up.
Guy, he does with how slow he talks. Yeah, you're gonna have to. All right, let's go.
This somehow was confusion over what James Gunn was doing. We're gonna talk about it right now. In the chat, do you feel that James Gunn has debunked or shut down the hashtag sell ZSJO to Netflix? We all read the same tweet, right? Let's get right to it. Me and C know where I'm going with this. Let's get into it.
So right off the bat, there's like wrong hashtag. Oh, that means that's not what he's talking about. Yeah.
Oh my God. Listen, this is a guy. This is my opinion on Sill and Mikey. It's so simple, Maddie. I will say everything you want to hear as long as you give me super chats.
Is it that simple?
It's that simple.
Have I been doing it wrong all this time?
You've been doing it wrong all this time.
Son of a bitch.
Integrity is so overrated, Matt.
But there's a guy who hangs out on Enosh's channel called Integrity 101 who thinks the Snyder Cut's going to come back.
Oh my God. That's another dude. Just wow. This guy's Sill, man. The cope. Look at oh my God. Already and it's the wrong hashtag. Gee, these people. I know.
Bro. Oh yeah. Again, this is where the cope sets in. The cope sets in hard. It's funny. Let's keep going.
This was the tweet in question. Let's talk about it.
All right, is he going to talk about it or take a sweet ass time?
Now I think earlier today James Gunn posted like a Swamp Thing picture. Now, I think I made this very clear on my platforms that, James Gunn, he wasn't my first choice to run DC. He's not my last choice as well, too, either. But also, him being an exec. Like, maybe I didn't like his DC movies. All right? Maybe I didn't like his DC movies, but that doesn't mean him as an exec, that he'll just go totally off the rails. So we'll see. The jury is still out for me. What's going to happen with James Gunn's DC? So, I think I've been very consistent with that. Everyone
Thank
can
God
have their
that's
opinion
settled.
with that.
Yeah, I know.
And I feel people should respect others' opinions about it as well, too.
See, this is the thing I find to be really funny because what Sill does is he likes to gaslight people. And I don't use that term like lightly. I don't like.
No, I almost never use that term.
I almost, because I think it's mostly falsely used, right?
It's misused. It's
all the time.
People get the context of it wrong, and it's as cringe as whataboutisms.
Yeah, it really is, right? But
unless it's really happening and you see it, then you have to call it.
But I've seen behind the curtain, if you will, all right, and even behind the curtain, Sill has got to be scrambling because there are people who are really questioning. And they're like, but you said this. And he's like, where did I say that? What's going on? I didn't say that. Right. But that's the thing is anyone who criticizes things that he has said, right? Anyone who criticizes all that shit, he ends up just going like, where'd you hear that? I didn't say that. That wasn't me. That was Mikey. It was somebody else. It was a report that I heard. I'm not the one saying it, yada, yada, yada. And there's literally like, even there, look at his coffee talk. Sill Abdul, here's what I've heard. So, but that's still taking ownership of what it is. If you want to say, here's what I've heard, then that is taking ownership of those particular things, which is, to me, is the funniest side of it. But let's keep going.
I think that's one thing, sometimes we can get so dogmatic that we're trying to enforce our opinion on other people. And shout out to Sill Nation and those that's been rocking with this platform and supporting it. We allow other people for their opinion, but don't force it on anyone.
right. Considering that if anyone goes into their live chat and says anything that really disagrees, they get blocked out.
They get blocked, or you're a hater, or my favorite, you're a racist. Like I've heard it all, dude.
I saw one today. I have a screenshot on my phone. I didn't have it ready to go, but because I saw he was going to be talking about this, and I just checked out the chat, and like one guy who was a mod and a member was basically like, "Isn't it kind of time to hang it up?" I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but that's the vibe I got from it.
Yeah.
And I'm all like, and unless Sill goes into his action, and I'd be interested to see if that guy is still a mod after disagreeing. These guys are trying to run this toxic positivity angle after they spent all this time attacking others. And now they have like this weird, attempt at a moral high ground. Well, we just want to be, we just want to be positive.
Don't say bad things about James Gunn. Be positive about Warner Brothers. You act like that. You do that now, it's going to erase the past 2 years of all the shit you've been talking. You know what I mean? Like, well,
yeah.
You think the tweets aren't still there, that James Gunn didn't see them? Like,
yeah.
What the fuck?
Exactly. Well, here we got Levon asking, wait, did he say Sill Nation? Yeah, he does. That's what he calls his group. I mean, like we'll say HWAD Squad, but like that's a playful term. Like, he actually uses like the hashtag,
all militant and shit.
Yeah, it's all like, all right, Sill Nation, like 77 years ago, Sill Nation rose above the haters and the miscreants to form a positive group of passionate fans who want to see Zack Snyder's work continue. Now, we might have
could do the voice acting thing, you fucker. You know that.
Yeah.
You're really good at it.
Hold on, I'll do it like Savage Bat. Right, yeah, mate. Fuck, like 8 years ago, I wanted to like fuck Zack Snyder. So I made a T-shirt with his face on it, and I came all over it, and I liked the way it looked. So I wore it. Fucking smelled like the ocean, but it was great.
What did it smell like?
Seagulls really liked me. I was surprised, but they were my only friends.
Okay, I'm done. I'm fucking done. He said it smells like the ocean. I don't know where the fuck you got that, but that's good shit, right?
You ever smelled cum, Chris? You ever fired off a shot and be like, well, I wonder what that smells like?
No, yeah, I've smelled it.
It's like
sometimes it's just so thick in the heat of passion, you smell it. There's no way around it. Like
you're just
yeah. I'm just saying. Yeah,
you're like, man, you ever watched a fucking a pirate movie when like they're in like a storm and the deck is just sloshed? It's a lot like that.
It's a lot like that, guys.
Matt killed my mind. Cum doesn't smell good. I'm not saying it smells good. But if you eat a kiwi
I think it has like a bleachy smell to it. Like it does.
A bleachy smell?
Like a not as.
I don't know if I'd go bleach.
Like a house cleaning, some sort of house cleaning thing is what I think.
I mean, it definitely doesn't smell appealing. I'll say that, right? It doesn't smell appealing. But there are some people out there. There's my girlfriend's former roommate, for example, called it her most favorite drink.
Yeah, there you go. See,
and I'm just like, well then, that's gross. You ever watch Gladiator? You ever watch Gladiator movies? You ever seen a grown man naked, Billy?
Airplane. You couldn't get away with that now. You couldn't do that now, man.
No.
Oh, no, you could not. You could not get away with that now.
Zap here asking, is it true that Snyder said no to Adam Wingard when he asked Zach to tell his fans to stop reviewing? That's the story. If I had connection to Adam Wingard anymore, because he actually closed down all of his social media, I could ask him. But
that's right. You used to have a rapport with that guy.
We follow each other on Facebook.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it much of it. It's like I'm still friends with on Facebook with the guy who created the Final Destination franchise.
Yeah,
and
is he doing the next one? He's the King Kong guy, right? He's the
no. His name is Jeffrey Reddick. He's doing something.
What did Wingard do?
Wingard did he did Death Note, he did The Guest, he did
The Guest. That's the one. That's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a really good movie, man. Like,
he
really
did the
good.
2016 Blair Witch. So which I haven't seen yet, actually. As
it's
a big
not,
Blair
it's not
Witch
horrible.
fan.
It's not
yeah,
horrible.
I just kind of like came out at a time when I just if something happened and I just didn't get to the theater.
But it's like pure horror, blah blah blah. It doesn't have that realism like the first one had. People can talk shit about the first one all they want, but the first one broke records. It set new grounds. It changed the game.
Love that movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it. All right, let's get back into this. I know, moving right along. Everyone wants to come for the shit talking, but they leave when the semen appears. It's just,
You did
God.
manage to work in come though.
I
always
will
do.
always, my mind starts in the gutter.
The Jizz
and
Network, guys.
It's just Jarbo's intimate zesty zings. Let's roll.
No else either. So my observation looking at this, I said, yo, obviously we know the people that's behind this hashtag sell movement. We know the work they've put into this campaign, the time and effort, and how the coverage, like Forbes showed, was the fandom was positive, very positive.
Okay, so I don't know if you saw my video on this the other day. I looked at the Forbes thing, right? And so I looked at Forbes, and Sill has said that it's been mentioned on there 4 times. I can only find 2 mentions. And that, of course, is the 9th of January, which is written by Paul Tassi, who was like their senior entertainment correspondent guy. And then
probably a slow news week. I'm gonna be honest.
Probably. I mean, the beginning of the year usually is.
And this whole the work that people, it's a fucking hashtag. Still,
Yeah.
Shut up.
What work have you? I mean, it's like
work? It's a hashtag and some fucking peanut head in a Superman suit. It's not
buying
even
the bots. That's the work. It's buying the bots to run it. That's what it is.
They put in the work and the effort.
But other than that,
they're not laying concrete. What the fuck?
Yeah, I know, right? They're not laying carpet. They're not fucking laying pipe. That's for certain.
They're not putting.
That's why they're doing the shit on Valentine's Day, because they're not laying pipe, Chris.
Yeah, no shit.
If they were laying pipe, they might be a little bit more relaxed. I mean, I'm just saying, tangaegg.com. Maybe make yourself feel better. Maybe.
Or come to my stream on Valentine's Day and you could win one.
You could win one. That's right. You could Chris up here doing the Lord's work, giving away jerk off material. But no, the other thing too is looking at Forbes, because they keep bringing up Forbes as if it means anything anymore. Like Forbes has very little editorial oversight in many instances. Very much similar to like Screen Rant. Because Forbes and Screen Rant both get about the same amount of traffic per month. Forbes gets about 100 million clicks per month, right? And so you think, oh my God, like an article on Forbes, that's really big. It has the opportunity to blow up. The Mark Hughes article, the one that he's predominantly referring to, has under 60,000 views. So if you were just to say round up to 60,000 views and then just try to get the percentage, that's 0.06%. of their entire traffic. 0.06%.
And they're so proud of it. And then I heard Skywalker be like, and Zack Snyder, he's in it. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Because he liked a tweet? Shut up, dude. Like, stop it.
Yeah, it's just like he liked to post on Vero, and Zach likes a lot of different posts on
these
Vero.
dudes. Look, Matt, these guys, I feel like they're mentally ill. I feel bad for them. But I'm going to be honest, man. I've been on a panel with Zack Snyder, and I didn't act like this. These guys get a like tweet and they're like, "Oh my God, Zach knows us." I've been on a panel with the guy. You know what I mean? It's just, it blows my mind. Him, Ray Porter, Ray Fisher.
Yeah, I've talked to Ray Porter. Ray Fisher would probably never talk to me because I'd be like, "Hey, so how full of shit are you?" But anyway, that's a whole other thing. But I mean, look at this here right here. So this is all the work they've done. So did you see Eddie? There was some cringe ass like cartoons today. Oh yeah, the AI stuff.
AI, so yeah. But that's not really work, man. You stop it.
No, we showed the AI stuff last night. There's other ones now. There's like a
these
cyborg
guys act
one.
like they're out there like what do you call the people? The people
like
that
being like doing missionary work?
No, the people that like Antifa. What do you call those?
Black Bloc?
No.
Communists?
When you're out protesting, what's that called? Activism. These people act like this is active. You really didn't shut up.
No, but like
he said it. He goes, communism?
I mean, like you're like Antifa, and I'm all but usually they only fight fascists.
Activism is what I meant to say.
Well, yeah. Yes. I mean, no, look, they're out there like they're making stuff like this, or they're making ones like this. But again, these images are just Googled fucking some of the promo shots and everything else, and then they just like somebody had made the graphics. Somebody made this. Right, they spent
I can't even lie. It's good artwork.
It's good artwork. I can't complain. It's a nice. I would have put a little bit of a shadow behind the Netflix just to separate it a bit. From Dark Side, obviously, but other than that, it's okay. You have the gradient and everything else there. But it's like fine. It's fine. It's like Justice League, but part One, the Emerald Edition. Like, you know why they call it the Emerald Edition, right?
No.
Wayne T. Carr. They want the Wayne
Oh yeah,
T.
yeah.
Carr.
They want the
the
Green
Emerald.
Lantern.
Yeah. 2 seconds of Green Lantern. Guys,
Yeah.
it's the Emerald Edition. We made it. That footage was never even completed.
No, all I saw was a still frame, a picture. So yeah, I believe Zach really did film it, but
no, he
they
filmed
used
it.
Martian
But
Manhunter at the end, right?
Yeah, they filmed it, and they filmed what it was is Henry Lennox, who played Martian Manhunter. He actually shot the scene in Zach's driveway without telling Warner Brothers. Right, went up there and shot it, and then Wayne T. Carr got there right as Henry Lennox was leaving. And they put him in the mocap suit, and then they shot him there because they already had the setup. So they shot both of them in an evening in Zach's driveway. And again, it's like, hey, can we ask for permission or ask for forgiveness rather than permission, sort of thing.
Yeah, no,
and that's all they did with it. But
I kind of do like that.
No, I mean, like it's a solid tactic of going about it. Don't get me wrong, but again, like that's kind of the angle that Zach did. Zach was like, look, I don't care. I'm not gonna because look, he shot for the moon because he knew he wasn't gonna work with these assholes.
Yeah, that was it. That's what he knew.
Like man. he knew. So he shot for the moon, and I'm fine with that. I have no issue with that whatsoever. So that's the thing that kind of cracks me up about this. Zactivism, right? Zactivism. That's right. That's oh my god. I wonder if I could find. Oh my! I gotta see if I could find it real quick. Still, hold on. I might be able. No, hold on, it's in pics.
It's just so
I have a oh no, I know where to find it. I know where to find it. Okay, because I sent it to there we go. All right, so I sent to Ski Walker the Jedi a long time ago. I sent him this.
Zach Lives. Wow.
That I made. Because like, and you know what? I sent this to him and he laughed his ass off.
Wow.
So I made this meme a long time ago as like just like a kind of like because I was noticing that the fan base is going crazy and growing crazier, right? Like I noticed all this shit. So I was making fun of him and I made this meme. And so, you know, it's like it's so stupid. But again, when they start talking about like Zactivism, right? Or like Zactivation or whatever, I'm like, this is what I immediately go to. It's all bullshit.
He was just, you know, when I met
that
him,
aged well. I mean, not really. Nothing I say ever really ages well, but
he was likable when I first met him. We hadn't talked about anything Zack Snyder related. He was just on Max's stream. And all I said was, like, I like Zack Snyder. I don't really see it happening, though. I would like for it to happen. I would like my friends to get it, but I just don't think Zack's going to make any more superhero movies with the Snyderverse. And this dude freaked out on me, man. I said I would like to see them, but I don't think it's going to, all I said was, I don't think it's going to happen. And this dude cut a fucking promo on me like it was 1986 WrestleMania Macho Man Randy Savage shit, dude. Like he went in on me, dude. And then he started calling me out for a debate, trying to get me to come on his channel. And I would show up and then his mods would block me and he would pretend like I wasn't there. He'd pretend like he would call me out all day. I've made videos on Twitter towards this guy. I've tried everything. Skywalker the Jedi is a straight P-punk, okay? He's a bitch. He would have washed my underwear, bro. For real. He would have been washing my fucking underwear in the joint.
Like on his head?
Like, because I...
You would just like...
Because the ribs...
Sorry,
I just don't know why. No,
that was
this
mean.
Bothers me, though, that he called me out and Max out. And even you, he's called us all out to debate him and talk about this. And you don't know what we know and we know things and blah, blah, blah. And then you show up there and they shut you down on some fascist shit. They block you or they hide you. Well, then don't call me out, pussy. Don't call me out because I was totally civil with this guy at first, man. There's two people on the internet right now. There's a lot of people I don't like, but there's just two people right now on the internet I can't fucking stand. One of them's Skywalker and the other one's that Tony dude. I just don't like either of them. They're smug motherfuckers and they make me sick and I don't like them and still starting to get there too. I'm sorry. I went till fucking
No. There's a lot that's like
but when I met the dude, he was a nice guy, man. He wasn't until I brought up the Snyderverse shit and he just went off the fucking deep end, bro. It's the quiet ones, man. You gotta look out for.
You gotta remember though, like you really have to remember that Sill got his start. Like, you know, he was with like the Four Nerds. And, you know, I forget if he was with the Four Nerds after Lightcast or around that time, right? But like you got to remember, like the cultured nerd and all the bullshit that they were saying.
That's Nicotina.
That's
and them, right?
Nicotina and those guys. Yeah, they don't like him either and shit like that. Honestly, I got nothing against the four nerds. I mean, Dawson's a bitch, but like whatever. He can draw well, but like he's a bitch. And I have no problem saying that. He's just, I made a crack about someone gave me a joke about Mormon underwear. I tweeted it and he went off the fucking deep end about it. It wasn't even my joke. I was told to say I laughed at it and chuckled. And it was because, Mormons wear magic underwear, right? They wear magic underwear and shit. And like, he got real mad, like, because I was getting sent like screenshots from like a DM group he was in. And he's all like, I hate this guy. And I'm like, he's a Mormon. Yeah. Okay. A moron. Sorry, moron. Yeah. But no, like, that's just the thing with it. I'm like, all right, dude, like, whatever, bro. Like, just, But then again, like, he did the artwork for Rebel Moon and got to go out and hang out on set and shit. And that's cool. Good for him. They did the Snyder, the Project Justice League.
Yeah, that was good shit too.
Which I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, it's good shit.
I want to see it. I need to watch it. We need to watch it here one night because I like Nicotina. I talk to Nicotina pretty often. So, but again, like a lot of these guys know that I'm just kind of a gigantic ass. So it's just they go, I fucking hate this guy, but fucking whatever. But all right, let's get back to have I seen Project Justice League? I have not. I need to.
You'll like it. You will.
The Fast X trailer dropped. The full thing or just the teaser? I know there's a 30-second teaser, but we'll get to that later.
Positive. So I'm a little miffed at how James Gunn approached this. Now, yes, have I been critical of James Gunn? Yes, I've been critical, but hey, the more responsibility. The more power, the more responsibility, right? You're just going to be judged. That's just what it is. So this exchange here that says sell someone. So early he posts the Swamp Thing picture, and I say all that say the prefaces by saying I'm looking forward to some of these new projects that this DCU is going to do. Some I'm not too hyped about. It's a mixed bag. So he posts Swamp Thing, cool. Then under that, someone decided to say, hashtag sell the Snyderverse to Netflix. So, a couple of red flags right there like that.
What the fuck?
What the fuck are you talking about, man?
What the fuck is like that? Like he stops, he pauses, and he's like, how do I come up with a way to make it seem like I know what the fuck I'm talking about? Right? Like, did he like that Uncle Fahad guy? Dude, we looked at his Twitter account earlier. Like, he tweets a lot of Justice League shit. Like, oh, a couple of red flags here. You used the wrong thing. Yeah, the guy got the wrong fucking hashtag. You have two different hashtags for the same fucking thing. If you got sell Snyderverse to Netflix when it's known as the Snyderverse, he was literally just being grammatically correct. But it's a red fucking flag. Jesus Christ. I mean, listen, I'm not expecting much out of these people. Proper punctuation and grammar. Fuck, that's a lost goddamn cause. But still, you'd like to think that when they call it the Snyderverse, like 99 times out of 100, that someone would putting it there, whatever. Now, maybe he'll catch on to that. Maybe I'll be impressed. And he'll actually be able to look at that and go, maybe this is why. But him like taking that over dramatic pause of, like he's fucking Columbo, right? Like he's got that weird kind of Peter Falk energy of like,
just one more thing.
There's just one, yeah, right? It's just like he's trying. He's so desperate. This is cope, guys. This is cope. Let's keep going.
That's not the hashtag that people are really using. So, we want to get our facts straight in this situation. James Gunn says, I have to say, this has to be the wackiest hashtag ever. Now, Mr. James Gunn, I've heard a few wacky hashtags that this Cell movement wasn't using. You know that wacky one that said, fire James Gunn? What was the other wacky one? The fire James Gunn and Peter Safran. Is that wacky? I mean, if you're comparing the wacky level.
Hold on, I'm sorry. Like, dude, what the fuck is that shit? What the fuck is that shit? Is he angry?
I can't even like. I really can't wrap my mind around this group. I'm trying to, man, but I just can't. They'll just invent shit. They just invent shit, Maddie. They just invent shit like out of thin air.
What the fuck? Is the whole fucking notion of like, so, well, is that a wacky hashtag? I can think of some wacky hashtags like fire James Gunn and
like
hold
that's
on.
his gotcha moment. Like he's dunking on him.
Yeah, let me think for 30 more seconds and fire James Gunn and Peter Safran. That seems pretty wacky. You know, he wanted to say pedo gun. You know, he wanted to say it, but he doesn't want to like call on that shit because remember this whole toxic positivity thing. I got to be
honest, guys. I really think James Gunn used the word wacky because he didn't want to say fucking retarded. He didn't want to say that because some people won't say the R word. I'll say it with the hard R on it. Okay, R-tard, and that's what he wanted to say. Like you can look at that and. We can look at that tweet and read between the lines, Maddie, and we know what the fuck he's saying, but he's saying it in a nice way. Then idiots like this got to cope and invent shit. He's literally trying to compare. Look how dumb this guy is. He really thinks this is the wackiest hashtag he's ever seen. Well, what about the wacky hashtag? Shut up, dude. You sound like a fucking game show host, man.
Well, that's kind of that is, I think, you know, a very interesting idea here is that, yeah, he's trying to play that shit, right? Like there's, he's got it again. All of this is just, you know, Zachary's right. The cope is strong with his dumbass.
He's painted himself in a corner over the years, and then there's no getting out.
No, like, there's not.
There's no getting out.
The thing is though, like this, like I know I have said that sell Zack Snyder's Justice League to Netflix is like their last thing, right? But it's like there's still like it's like, you know, it's like in Empire Strikes Back when Luke takes off and heads off towards fucking Bespin, you know, and then Yoda goes, no, there is another, there is, right?
It'll happen too.
And this is like, but it's true. It's what they've got is Universal or Apple or whatever. Like they're just going to move along. Eventually they'll run out. But by the time they run out, like as long as no one acknowledges them, like, you know, it's
they're
fun.
Pimping the fuck out of this dude. Matt, they're pimping the fuck out of Zach. Zach never hardly, and he never talks. It's always like a picture of a fucking turkey or something. Like the dude, and I like Zack Snyder. I think he's a visionary. I really do. I'm one of the few people that like Sucker Punch. But before long, they're going to be like, hey, Zack Snyder's going to go work for Marvel. Like that's what's going to happen. Like it'll be the Marvel verse. You'll see. Like it's coming, man. These people, they're just grifting off of Zach's name, and Zach's letting them. And I don't know why.
Yeah.
He could come out and say one thing and shut down that entire.
But again, if he does that though, he kind of runs the risk of losing their favor, right? He really does. Like
smart,
where we are right now.
Yeah.
Where we, like the analogy that I've got. This is going to be kind of mean, okay? But like the analogy that I've got is this: imagine what would happen if your dad came home from buying cigarettes. Okay. Think about that, right? We have all this joke about like, oh, your dad went out to buy smokes and never came home. And there's all that longing, the longing for like your father. Because these guys don't have fathers. They don't have dads. They don't have positive male role models. So they kind of put that on Zach, right? But think about that. They think, oh no, my dad's great. My dad's awesome. You know, he just went out for cigarettes and don't worry, he'll be back one day. And, you know, they keep holding on. And then in this, you know, what they're waiting for is daddy to come home with cigarettes.
I still can't wrap my mind. I
said it was, you know,
after a while, Matt, it's just like you gotta find the crazy. You know, it's in there. Like for a while, even I was making excuses for them. Like, hey man, they're just coping. No, these motherfuckers are crazy, man. Some of them are just grifting, but guys like Skywalker, that dude's not all there. I'm not saying that as a joke. I mean it. This motherfucker stepped on an IED or something over there, man. He's got CTE or something, man. This motherfucker's not all there. He was in a Superman suit holding up a 4th grade science project, man. Like the dude's not all there. And even after the motherfucking guy that runs DC says this shit's not happening. This is the nicest way I can put it. They're still trying to twist it into some conspiracy. And now they're back to talking shit about him after they said, please, guys, don't talk shit about James Gunn. Let's be positive. And the minute James Gunn comes out and says something positive and says, look, I'm going to let you down easy, okay? It's not you, it's me. That's what James Gunn is saying. He's letting him down as light as he can, all right? And now they're talking shit about him again. These people are fucking crazy. They're fucking crazy. Like, I rant over.
Yeah. There, James Gunn here says, I'm still waiting for my dad to come back. Darkness here says exactly like wearing a black Superman suit is weird as fuck. I mean, like, I understand the intent behind doing it, but it became a meme, guys. Like, people have just turned it into a meme, and that's where it's at. That's what it's gonna. I mean, imagine how many of those memes are gonna pop up on 214.
You know, my favorite one was.
Imagine all that
Matt
shit.
Jarbo was right. That was my favorite one.
That I didn't make that. That was sent to me.
But that was my favorite one.
It's just like
that one gets under their fucking skin. That one bothers them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, they all fucking hate me. I'm blocked by most of them. All right, let's keep going. We're like literally. That's still just God. If you'd only stop pausing.
How about the boycott WBD? Is that wacky?
What is he like? He's like.
See, this is the problem I have with this.
He's on OxyContin or something. I don't even know, dude.
Just said,
yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen. And just moved, and said the same thing after that. Oh, hey, I talked to Zack Snyder. That's cool. But to criticize a movement that has made their mark of being positive, of not trying to bother you, James Gunn, but saying whatever y'all did to get Sandman with DC, or when you did the CW DC deal with Berlanti's production company, where the shows will go to Netflix, all kinds of licensing deals.
All previous company.
Now, anyone that's been promoting.
Also, that was under when DC Films was a subsidiary of Warner Brothers Studios or Warner Brothers Picture Group. Now it's its own vertical. It's an entirely different scenario. But I've already brought that. I've mentioned that. Just
in the hole, and no one's bothering you, James Gunn. Like, see, you hear I snuck that in there? No one's bothering you. Like, basically, why'd you put out this tweet? Like, basically, he's saying, like, know your role and stay the fuck out of it. The guy that's running DC, these motherfuckers, bro. They're insane. You need to speed this dude up. He's fucking crazy.
Oh yeah, well, even like an hour ago, James Woody posted something, the weekly top 10. Authority is number 1. All these new Booster Gold, Batman, Supergirl, Swamp Thing, Legends, are all these top books. And so an hour ago, James Gunn tweeted and just said, "Oh yeah, #read comics."
Yeah, and that's all I've been saying. Like, I could see they've got a pretty good relationship with DC. Netflix does. They get all the DC licensing for the Flash and Arrowverse and all that stuff. But there's no way DC is coming off the Holy Trinity. They're just not going to get, and Netflix couldn't afford it. They couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
How much to license it, Matt? And then how much to make the movies?
Oh, hell if I know, man.
Couple billion?
I mean, at least a bill. At least a bill.
There's no way. There's these people, man. I don't.
Well, I will say, so I am looking at the responses to his tweet. And right now, all people are really asking are about the Grace Randolph, George Clooney thing.
And she said that. I love that. Shut these people down. Don't even bring up the hashtag.
Well, yeah, this is like this is what we're seeing on. This is what she said earlier today, right? Is that it's going to be Clooney who cameos at the end.
Why?
And so people are talking. I don't know.
Because it's a throwaway movie.
That's what they're
exactly. Put Clooney in there. Okay, first of all, it's not going to be Val. Val can barely stand up. He can barely talk. It's not going to be Val. Okay, if it's Clooney, which it probably is, I'm okay with it because it's a throwaway film. If you're going to bring back one of the Batman, you better save Christian Bale. You better save him.
Yeah, but Bale doesn't want to come back, right? It's been 13. It's been 11 years.
I know, Maddie, but he always said that if Christopher came back for one, he would do one more.
Okay. Well,
And
okay.
Christopher has never said no.
Well, Christopher also like is not happy with Warner Brothers, but he could use that as a way to get back in.
Yeah,
Because
but then again, he's
the
making
whole
some
tenant
amazing
thing, the whole
shit,
yeah, I want to see
you know?
Oppenheimer, but
Yeah.
like again, the whole tenant situation, like Warner's bent over backwards for Nolan and it bit him in the ass. So like I don't know what's gonna happen with that shit.
Not to change the subject, but real quick, you probably haven't seen this yet. The two most I'm excited for Oppenheimer dramas this year, Oppenheimer, and that one that's dropping in March with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon about the birth of the Air Jordan.
Yeah.
That looks amazing to me. I
wonder if they shot any of I haven't seen the trailer yet, but I wonder if they shot any of that in Portland. Because when I lived in Beaverton before I moved up here, I lived around the corner from Nike's worldwide headquarters.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you. Oh, that is right. It is in Portland. Nike is in Portland.
My friends grew up down the street from that headquarters when they first built it, and they used to sneak over there on the weekends and go rollerblading and skateboarding around the parking lot.
I hope they did film some of that there, and the trailer's out, and it's on Amazon. And a lot of people don't like it. I love when Matt and Ben work together. They're great together, man.
Yeah.
They just are, you know.
Yeah.
Good Will Hunting. Let's do this shit.
Well, and that's the whole thing with them doing this new production company themselves, right? Like Matt Damon. It's not to say that Matt Damon is at the end of his career or Ben Affleck's at the end of his career, but they're 50. You know,
and they want to start getting behind the camera. They were big. What was that thing they did in the 90s?
Good Will Hunting.
No. The Project Greenlight.
Oh, that was in 2000. That was the end of 2000.
That was theirs though, right? They pushed it really.
No, it was. I mean, it was like their idea. Like their names are on it. They worked with HBO. I actually entered that. The very first feature like screenplay. Yeah, I entered that. Actually, came across a guy the other day. A very unlikely person had actually also entered a script into that back then, and I think I remember hearing the title of it because its title was very unique. But I was like, wow, it's kind of a small world because like who would have known that, you know, our conversation based upon our mutual hatred of somebody else would have brought that about. You know, yeah, I mean, let's see here. Matt and Ben working together on this. Why not let them do more films? I mean,
yeah,
they are.
Great together. And Ben's great behind the camera. I don't care what anyone says. Now, I've never seen Matt behind the camera, but I've seen Ben behind the camera, and they both they don't phone anything in. Even shit movies that are supposed to be great, like Elysium, that was supposed to be this big mind-bending, but Matt threw his whole self into it, and they've always backed indie filmmakers. Like they're really big into that, you know.
I need to watch Elysium again. It's been a while and whatnot. I remember it not being as good as it could have been. But all right, let's keep going because we're almost at midnight, and I just want to see what he says because this is like, you know, it's already bad, but it's just like I have a feeling it's going to get worse.
#Sell. No one promised that it was going to happen, but we saw the avenue, right?
Liar.
And I rocked with the people that's continuing to push for this. There's nothing stopping. But this is very concerning when a concerted effort was to not criticize James Gunn with this petition to license out for WB to make more money. James Gunn resorts to calling it wacky.
Oh my
God. And then
you
have clowns defending this.
Bitch.
Because that's what it looks like. People that's defending James Gunn, calling wacky.
Dude, everyone should look. I don't want to like call for harassment, but anytime Sill tweets, there should be a bot that just like says wacky.
Sponsored by Vagisil.
Right.
For his fucking vagina. Because this like, dude is he's great. Dude, here's what I want to know. If I could talk to this guy, I would how did you get there? Tell me how you got there. What mental gymnastics? How did you get there, Sil? Now he's resorting. Using words like that, those are like, what do you call them? Dog whistles? He's you know, now he's resorting to, what? He's given a public statement about his company to shut motherfuckers up, to let people know, look, this ain't happening. He's doing his fucking job. And it sounds a little, I heard someone say it sounds a little PR, and it does. It does sound a little PR, but that's what James Gunn does. He resorted to calling it wacky. Like he dropped the N-bomb, motherfucker.
But that's the whole thing. And that was something like Max had said earlier too. He's like, you all have criticized Sill and said the worst things about Sill. I'm all like, I called him a liar. I didn't call him the N-word. There's a difference there, Max. Like, and that's the other thing with Max too. And I know you're listening to this, Max. So you know what? Like, don't sit there and say you love everybody when you still like, you know, get involved in half this shit anyway. Whatever. That's all some bullshit. But all right, let's keep going.
A movement which part of the rules of engagement is not to attack James Gunn. So these are the people that look wacky trying to defend him right now.
You're a fucking retard. You are a fucking retard, Sil. God, I hope you see this. People watch Matt Jarbo.
So that's
you
one
are
thing.
a fucking retard, dude.
Well, okay, let's calm on that. Let's calm on
James
that a little
Gunn
bit.
just can't read the room sometimes. I don't understand. He just makes these off the cuff comments. It's like, bro, like no one's even trying to go at James Gunn with the cell movement. Now I know a few movements that's going at you, James Gunn, but you didn't say nothing about that. About them calling you to get fired, especially after that slate dropped.
Why?
Yeah.
Why would
you choose
what does it matter? This
the
dude.
cell movement? That's
Chill,
disappointing. That's disappointing to me.
Is it because Sill had latched on to that cell movement? He didn't
Yep.
create it, but then he's
Yep.
been co-opting it and trying to like act as like the guy, you know, and whatever.
And he used to be the guy. And now I tell you what, now it's like I don't know how, but somehow Skywalker became the guy. That blows
Well,
my mind.
Skywalker is like, so the idea, you got to remember the idea here is to you know, like they came up with it, right? Like, you know, but then, you know, Sill will take the credit for it on the back end, but he'll give credit out to Skywalker to make it look like, you know, like, oh no, it's all him. It's all him. It's all him.
Yeah, well, yeah, you have to, you got to have plausible deniability at the same time. You have to feed your minions. Like I get it. I know exactly what you're saying, Maddie, for real. Like that made perfect sense to me. I get exactly what you're saying. It's just, it's so, you know, the worst part why I get so triggered by guys like Sill. He could be good if he wanted to.
Yeah.
He could be good at this.
Well, you know, what's really funny is that I'm looking on Geekosity right now, and there's Mikey wrote an article about it. Zack Snyder liking those posts on Vero, I guess, on January 19th, and nothing since then. So we're coming up on a month, and there's been nothing written by them about how to push it and whatever. Like no article supporting Skywalker going out there, right? It's, you know, but then it's like all this shit. It's just, again, all these guys have to do is just cope.
Listen, that Superman thing might
So
get memed
according
forever.
to James Gunn
Oh, yeah.
here, let me move this banner out the way. He gives the reasons why he thinks this is the wackiest,
He triggered by the word wacky.
the wackiest campaign ever. Like,
Well,
are
he's
we
trying to
serious
get
about
people
this?
mad. You can tell he keeps, okay. Goddamn, I hate to keep pausing. I'm sorry, guys.
I know, but
But
did you
this
see NTPR Rising's comment? Because that's probably the best way to sum it up. Wacky versus the P word. Wacky versus pedo. What's worse? Come on, Sil.
Yeah. Oh, I know. It's just, it's that whole notion there. The I'm disappointed was great. I'm disappointed. Fucking, you know, it's
When
I
you
need,
go into character, man, that shit.
I need, well, you know what that's from, right?
it's an anime or something.
No,
isn't it?
it's from Hercules. It's Kevin Sorbo. Disappointed. It's great. It's fucking great. Kevin Sorbo's a psychopath, but goddamn do I love the old Hercules show. But I mean, that's the thing here. You can tell. So, okay, you got to understand, like the idea here is to repeat the word wacky while trying to make it seem like you're emotional.
Yeah, you
If
know, he's dog whistling. That's exactly what he's doing.
just he's just trying to get people to go, oh yeah, like, I should be mad at this. Wacky that you just called me the N-word. Like, that's basically what he's trying to say. That's basically what he's trying to say on this one. And it's ridiculous. It's stupid, by the way. It's super, super dumb to sit there and go, no, I should get mad at Wacky. He didn't sit there and go, a bunch of knuckle-dragging mouth breathers stuck in their mother's basements are trying to push this. Yeah, troglodytes, right?
Nobody said that.
Yeah, nothing along the lines
The
of
guy
that
said
word.
it's a wacky hashtag. He's in a nice way trying to tell you, man, look, fuck around and find out. Step off, man. Like, it's not going to happen. These guys will do whatever, though. You got to, it's a grift. To me, it just feels like a grift. Bro.
It's a total grift, but it's so fun. It's actually like, it's captivating to watch for how bad it is. Does he bring on anyone else before the end of this thing? Okay, he doesn't, but he just, whatever.
I swear, bro. And maybe James Gunn has been through so much online. He maybe just everything blurs together. Do you think he's aware of the difference in the hashtags? Obviously not, James Guy. If he's calling it wacky,
Please,
I think he's aware? I'm not going to.
That. I'm sorry. I keep interjecting on what this guy's saying, but I don't understand how that has any relevance to what he's trying to. What is he trying to obtain here? Like, what is he doing? What is he trying to achieve?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't realize it was talking to James, because James has come on here multiple times. I talk to James multiple times a week. And so I want to see what he says here, because he's just like, so James asked, do you think he's aware of the difference in hashtags? Which is an honest question. It's a valid question, right? But then listen, Sill just seemed to get really fucking mad at that.
Yeah,
right?
his response is what
so
I'm
yeah,
talking
let's
about.
listen to this. This is going to be interesting.
I swear, bro. And maybe James Gunn has been through so much online. He maybe just everything blurs together. Do you think he's aware of the difference in the hashtags? Obviously not, James Guy. If he's calling it wacky.
Okay.
Do I think he's aware? First, I'm not going to sit here and read minds. I'm going to go off the actions. That's what I'm going to do.
Wow, this is some Miss Cleo shit here.
That's what I'm going to do.
Call me now.
Do you know the difference of the hashtags? Hashtag sell. What other hashtag are we talking about? I didn't even get to the Zack Snyder part. So buckle up.
Sorry. So he gets mad at James asking a legitimate question when they had even tried pointing out that the sell the Snyderverse to Netflix is not the hashtag that they use, and that's the whole red flag thing, right? But when asked, well, does James even know the difference in the hashtags? Because there are two hashtags that they want to use, right? As evidenced here, we can see they got sell ZSJL to Netflix and sell Snyderverse to Netflix, the two hashtags that they want to use. So having the extra the in there could be considered confusing, right? It could be absolutely considered confusing. And that's why Sill is trying to get upset. It's really, really, really funny. Just like,
it's a tell. If we were at a poker table right now, you would know exactly what he's trying to do. It's
he's got no hand. He's got no hand. Leon here says, or Leoing, they keep poking the bear, but when Gunn claps back at them, they play the victim. Yeah, well, that's also what the Fandom Menace does too.
They all do it. Listen, I'm gonna fall back, Maddie, and watch the rest of this on the big screen. I gotta go help in the kitchen real quick. I always have fun when I come on here.
I appreciate it, brother. Thank you very much.
Be good, guys.
Get to sleep. All right, see you. Just the pause to read the chat. Oh, here.
So, Jake, so what I'm not going to do, I'm not going to get into semantics. I'm going to assume you see the same picture I see right here. Now, if you're confused, looking at this picture, clear as day in your face, if you're confused, you think there's another conversation to have to explain to you what you're seeing on the screen, I don't know what to tell you. The tweet that you're looking at says, hashtag sell the Snyderverse to Netflix. James Gunn responds and says, that's the wackiest hashtag. So, once you catch up to where we're at, then we can have, we can continue that conversation. I'm not going to go through semantics right now. But we're not going to go through semantics right now. This is as clear as day what he responded to.
Wow, can you guys hear the desperation in his voice? I mean, yeah, the anger in his voice. That is like that's crazy. I don't know if James is watching, because I know he's awake around this time. So James, if you're watching, if you want to jump on, you can message me on Facebook. I'm looking at your chat right there. So if he wants to, because it feels like, but this is the thing, right? This is the thing. If anyone asks Sill for a quick catch up, because maybe they're late or whatever, he'll be like, go back to the stream and watch this from the beginning of the stream and get caught up. It's like, well, you could also just kind of answer what's going on, right? Like James asked a question. Maybe he didn't know about the different hashtags and then still gets angry about that. It's like, well, he chose to, he chose to respond to this one as if this one is really any different from the other ones. It's like they're trying to really, really, really hone in on this other one, on the sell the Snyderverse to Netflix, as if like that's a reason. Like he didn't want to invoke the fan base and shit. His tweet has gotten this. Remember, this is, you see 26 retweets. It's now 750 quote tweets. Yeah, Darkness here says he sounds like as if he doesn't have a cover up. That's true. That's very true. All right.
So yeah, we're not doing all these side questions. We're going to talk about what's right in front of us. That's what we're going to do. If you want to figure out, was he talking about this hashtag or that, it's not that complicated. I think it's right in our face right here. And then he goes to his reasonings on why did he call this the wackiest hashtag ever? The hashtag that was the most positive since the first day this movement started. The people behind the hashtag, the messaging, the rule of engagement has been the most positive I've seen in this fandom.
Because it's the most cope.
It's nothing to be confused about. But he goes to his reason. Why does he call it wacky? Not that they're calling for his job. No, because they're not. They're not bringing up those old parties he used to go to. They got him fired from Disney. That's not what this
That wasn't what got him
doing.
fired from Disney.
That's not why he said it's wacky. He said because, hey, he's saying, hey, Netflix hasn't expressed any such interest. Okay, let's see. Although we've discussed other stuff. So he's saying basically Netflix, it has not expressed any interest. Now, when has he spoke to Netflix? There's a lot of different things. You know, a lot of variables right there. When did he speak to Netflix? Have they reached out to him in the last couple of weeks? That's when this movement started. But, you know, we'll leave that where it's at.
You gotta love that, because he's like, oh, when did he talk to them? I mean, I don't know, probably recently, because he's only been on the job since the 1st of fucking November. So that's November, December, January, and a week into February. So 13 weeks he's been on the job. And you're like, whoa, man, what have you talked to Netflix? Just the level of disingenuousness that we're getting out of this. This is why it's so damn funny. Right? This is why it's so damn funny. Like, here we go. Yeah, Levon says here, James Gunn is the co-CEO of DC Studios, and he is telling truth bombs. I know. Well, you have to love the fact that he's the co-CEO of the studio, the guy who is effectively the face of the studio, and he's telling you what's going on, and you're like, I don't believe you. Never mind, he's the one in charge. But other people are like, well, no, he can't be the one to actually make this determination. He wouldn't even be the one to have the conversation. It would all be Zazie. Or they might say people over there at Warner Brothers Picture Group, Mike DeLuca and Pam Abdi, even though it's not. Everything under DC runs through these two guys, Safran and Gunn. They work directly with Zaslav. They report directly to Zaslav. That's the whole point of them being a vertical. It, like, all of that just seems to like disappear while he's trying to come up with every emotion under the sun to get angry over the worst of the word wacky. God forbid he ever sees the animation show Wacky Racers. He's going to have a heart attack, you guys. He's just going to keel over and die from shock. Jeez. David Riley here says, now he's deflecting just like Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. Exactly. That's a lot of what they do. They have to sit there and deflect. Because it's all they got. Like they hone on one thing, and that's what they use as a deflect, right? Which is why, like, when it comes to these situations, picking your words is probably the best course of action. But yeah.
But he says wacky.
See?
The most positive hashtag that somehow people are still confused over. It's wacky because Netflix didn't express interest. Who knows when? He talked to Netflix. Number 2, he says Zack hasn't expressed any interest, I guess, to him personally. And seems to be happy doing what he's doing. And yes, we two have talked. So it's a lot of little conjecture here. Now,
I'm sorry,
what
what?
Gunn could have done, because that's why people should wait till, someone makes a complete statement, and then go all around the room with stuff. I'm taking an issue with James Gunn, not because of his reasoning, his 2 reasoning that he called it wacky. I take issue with James Gunn because he called it wacky. Now, what James Gunn could have said, well, actually, he shouldn't even respond to the hashtag. To be quite honest, he shouldn't even respond.
See, here's the thing: is Mad Max says the exact same thing, right? Like, shouldn't respond to it. All he just laughed at it. Like, it's just the wackiest fucking thing. Like, because they're talking about what is it? Swamp Thing. And then here's some random guy comes on in and just drops that hashtag. And he just laughs at you. Like, that's the wackiest thing I've seen. And here's the reasons why. Let me tell you what's happening. Let me tell you the truth. Let me let you in on what's actually going down. And that's everything he's trying to say here. It's like, yeah, Gunn made a statement. That's exactly what it is. Gunn made a statement. It's just, it's so funny how angry he is trying to make himself. He's legitimately trying to work himself up to get angry in order to convey that emotion to his audience. That's what it is. Like, what you're watching here is a person, like, this is a breakdown in real time. It's not like a meltdown, but it's a breakdown. It's him attempting to get mad so other people will be mad on his behalf. Right? It's basically just crocodile tears, but he has to try to believe it, which is why he keeps focusing on wacky. Because he said, I don't care about Gunn's reasoning. I care that he said wacky. Right? Like, okay, fine. I'm just kind of curious here. What is wacky? All right. Wacky definition. Let's just take a look here. A funny or amusing in a slightly odd or peculiar way. Funny or amusing in a slightly odd or peculiar way. I'm sorry. Is that an attack? Is that a personal attack? Did he go to their house and like scrawl an epithet on their fucking driveway? No. He used a term to describe something that is humorous, amusing, and slightly odd. That's about it. Yet that triggers him. That's what triggers him. It's so funny.
But he chose this opportunity. So he said, hey, you saw the hashtag. Well, I don't think it's going to happen because Netflix hasn't expressed interest and Zack hasn't expressed interest really. And he could have left it at that. To criticize the movement, because sometimes this goes over people's heads. I don't know how this is going over anyone's head, what I'm taking issue with here. But that's my problem. It's just the opening statement, calling it wacky. Now, him saying again, Netflix hasn't expressed interest. Hey, that's cool. That's who knows when he's talked to Netflix, right? That's a variable right there. Zack hasn't expressed interest. When's the last time he talked to Zack? This movement has been going on for a couple weeks. But this movement has spread it so much that you got trades today, Variety, and it was another trade that commented on, made an article, a full article off of James Gunn's response right there. So that's
Wait. Hold on here. Hold on. I gotta look this up, you guys. I'm sorry. I gotta look this up. Did Variety? So James Gunn responded to somebody on social media, and that's ultimately what got the article. All right. I gotta try to find this thing here. So we got let's see. Okay. I'm trying to find it on variety.com. There we go. Okay, let's bring this up real quick here. All right, James Gunn says Zack Snyder supports new DC Universe, responds to fans urging Netflix to buy Snyderverse, saying it hasn't expressed interest. So this is the article right here. That's it. This is the article. All right. And it's just a recap. Gunn revealed on Twitter that he's spoken with Zack Snyder about the new DC universe. Gunn, along with Peter Safran, is the head of DC Studios and is rebooting the DC universe with a new slate of films and television series. Snyder was the architect of the previous DC universe, commonly referred to as the Snyderverse, which launched with Man of Steel and included, we know it included. Snyder's DC tenure became contentious after he left his Justice League movie. We know about all of that. So some Snyder fans have been using Twitter to urge Warner Brothers to sell the Snyderverse to Netflix so that the director can continue with this comic book universe. So Gunn says all the stuff here. Okay, so we already know what he has to say. Gunn and Safran's overhauled DC universe will officially kick off with the new Superman movie, Superman Legacy. Gunn is writing the film, which will center on a younger version of the superhero than the one Henry Cavill played in Snyder's movies. And then we just, that's it. That's it. That's all it says. That's all it says. It doesn't say the hashtag, right? It does not say the hashtag at all. So, I mean, if we Google just James Gunn for today, it might pop up in a couple. We'll just take a quick look here. All right. We'll just bring this up. So James Gunn news past 24 hours. Okay. Gizmodo. James Gunn and Zack Snyder spoke about future of DC. All right. Movie Web, James Gunn says he's Zack Snyder support. The Direct talked about that. James 14 hours ago. Okay, who wrote about this then? Within the last 24 hours, we've got Movie Web, Gizmodo, Variety. That's it. Bounding into Comics hasn't talked about it. Fandom Wire hasn't talked about it. Keep looking here. You've got no one else talking about it right here. All right. Oh, here we go. Comic Book Movie. All right. They've talked about it. Okay. Comicbook.com talked about it, but these aren't even these haven't started trending yet. All right. But here we go. Top 10 comic books raising in value last week, dominated by James Gunn's DC slate, which we kind of showed that on the thing earlier. But that's it. I mean, there's just not much. You got Comic Book Movie. Not even comicbook.com has written about it yet. They will tomorrow. All right. I mean, just even the Direct talks about Guardian. Yeah. Guardians. That's about it. As we can see here, it's really, even looks like We Got This Covered hasn't even really talked about it. It's just going all the way back. I mean, some people might. Let me see here. I'm not really seeing anything that really pops up here. Oh, here we go. Yahoo in Spanish 7 hours ago, right? I'm just saying, it's just you look at it, you look at it and you're just all like, this is what it is. Spherical Commander says he can name Variety, but not the other trades. Would Geekosity happen to be that? Well, here, I'll show you guys. Maybe there will be one dropping tomorrow, right? Maybe. I don't know. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. rumor reveals appearance in upcoming MCU epic. Constantine 2, Swamp Thing, James Mangold, DC Studios delivers sad update about Ben Affleck's role in new movie. Fucking Dreamwalker shit. Superman and Lois. Again, Mikey Sutton's not really writing a lot of these articles. And their article stuff is absolute. Well, he's writing that one. But their articles have absolutely just diminished in how many come out. So no, there's nothing on Geekosity about that at all. Nothing. So, and that's kind of we're over here. Here we go. Yeah. So there's nothing we're talking about that. He's trying to make it out that it's bigger than what it is when it's not bigger than what it is. Not at all. Simple searches will do that, but his audience doesn't research, guys. We know this.
That's very interesting. That's very interesting. So I think, I think it's very.
See you later, Darkness and Reed. I know I didn't want to go this long, but
as far as what I'm saying, we could talk about.
I'm kind of in and out to finish it.
Let me see. All right, so this is when I tweeted out my response to this. When I saw this, I said, "Well, hey, I just did a recent video on my second channel I talked about that DC Studios is willing to sell DC projects to Netflix. You know, DC has always licensed stuff. And Peter Safran voiced it again. Hey, yeah, we'll sell their Hulu, Netflix, everybody. So James Gunn did reiterate, yeah, we do. You know, we're going to talk to Netflix about stuff. But when he's talked to Netflix, they haven't brought up the campaign. Again, when has he talked to Netflix? We don't know, right? James Gunn doesn't give you all the information sometimes, you know. And Zach hasn't expressed interest the last time he talked to him, whenever that is, right?
God, he's trying so
There's
hard.
a lot of gray area right here. And that is what it is.
He's trying so hard.
But I don't think there's nothing to be confused about.
No, there's not, Sil, but you are desperately trying to make it confusing.
So it seems to be open as far as this communication with Netflix and with, you know, just this future licensing is there. It's definitely there. Will it be Snyderverse? Well, he's trying to say, hey, Zach didn't bring it up. Netflix didn't bring it up. And I will be fine. Again, I'll be fine if Gunn just said that. That is my point.
But Wacky triggered him. Wacky is what sent him over the edge, folks.
Let's see. Let's catch up what we saying here. Oh, let me go to where's the Zach part? He said, yo, Zach contacted me personally to express his support about my choices. He's a great guy. Again, he seems really happy with the massive world building he's doing now. And, you know, fans of Zack Snyder, we're happy with the world building that Zack Snyder is doing as well. We are looking forward to Rebel Moon, which is going to be an amazing experience this December. I'll likely get a short little theatrical window. That would be really cool. Like other Netflix movies, you know, big movies. The purpose of #sell, if people know what the movement is about and not just grouping it with things in the past, what makes it different is that, again, it was not calling for James Gunn's job. It was just saying to license out this particular brand of DC like you do other stuff. That's the point. But with him saying Zach contacted him. I think Zach said this in a recent, it was like that radio interview a couple months ago when he said, hey, I didn't get the call. But he said, I wish them all the best. All right.
What?
Has he talked to Zach since the campaign started? The #sale. Because like other people, they're confusing this with #restore and all the stuff we're saying that that they're not mixing it up with.
No one. What? Okay. See that right there. That I think is a criticism. Did you send? Hold on. Send it to me on Discord, Command Unit. We'll do it. I might have. I didn't see one come in from you today. I might have missed it. I apologize. Send it to me over on Discord so I have the link. But anyway, so look, James is talking about the different sell hashtags. Sill is trying to obfuscate from that. Now he's trying to say, confusing them with like the restore. That's a direct jab at James right there, 100%. Trying to say like James has just got it wrong. When in reality, no, James is a very observant guy. I know because him and I have very in-depth conversations and I like James quite a bit. So no, James is not getting it wrong. Thank you, Command Unit, by the way. Thank you for that. All right. And I'll just, okay, cool. All right. We'll get that to that here. Anyway, yeah, it's just, you can tell he's confused. You can actually tell that Sill does not know what he's talking about. Like, that's actually really, really, really funny. Because like, he's confused. Yeah, Chris is right. He's painted himself into a corner and he doesn't know what he's saying.
So, yeah, maybe people got to educate themselves a little bit, right?
Remember, that's what he says every time you ever criticize him. He'll always try to gaslight it. No, you just don't listen. You don't know what I'm saying. You don't know where we are. You're not playing catch up. You're not watching every stream. You're not reading every tweet. You're not blah, 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 blah. He does that as a way to bully people into feeling guilty because they can't keep up with all the bullshit that he says. So he's just continuously pushing this loop of nonsense. It's actually really interesting from a psychological perspective, the more you watch him, because you start to, I haven't really spent this much time watching Sill in a while, and you can just see he is he is massively trying to come up with a way to keep this and himself relevant.
So we don't have all the information. These statements right here, we don't have all the information. When has he talked to Netflix last? Was it within the last 3 weeks? That's when the campaign started. Has he talked to Zack Snyder about it within the last 3 weeks? That's the question. Now, if you feel his statement here is telling you it's not happening, more power to you. I just will hope, especially Sill Nation, just kind of look beneath the surface a little bit. But
he's so desperate. Oh my God.
As I said on Twitter, I am not I've always said, this is a play that anyone can have. If you're a DC fan and you want to call for a brand of DC that you want, I say more power to you. It's not hurting anyone. Now, the hashtags are saying fire and bringing up them old parties that James Gunn used to go to and his boys used to go to. Yeah, that's not what we're about.
But again, the old parties were theme parties making fun of those institutions. They weren't supportive of them. They were making fun of them. That's the whole point of a theme party. It's satirical, you numbskull.
That's not what this movement is about. Hashtag sale. So that's the only problem I've had, like I said, with James Gunn, as far as saying that. What are we talking about? We're talking about some delusion. What are we talking about? Now, this is what I will say. If people look at it as delusion, licensing out DC, people are welcome to their opinion. But I think it's clear, like James Gunn said right here, that they are open to talking with Netflix for DC projects. They already did The Sandman. Now, depending on the deal, Neil Gaiman said he doesn't have to deal with James Gunn at all for his. Could that be the terms of the deal? Who knows? But nothing in this paragraph, Prime, in this tweet, tells me that James Gunn has talked with Netflix in the last few weeks or Zach. Now, if he has, he could have just said, you know what James Gunn could have did to kill this whole thing, Prime? He could have been like, man, last week I talked to Netflix, bro. Like, no. Netflix just texted me. And they said this ain't happening. And then Zach, I just talked to him on the phone. So it's a time variable. And I know.
So here's what he's also ignoring, by the way. I just want to bring this up real quick. So this is the other tweet. James says he contacted me to express his support about my choices. He's a great guy. Again, he seems really happy with the massive world building he's doing now. He contacted me to express his support about my choices, which was last fucking week. So Sill here, again, is absolutely obfuscating from what is fact, what is right in front of him. He's nuts. Insanely nuts. David here says, Prime to Godfather's a good point. No, Prime does. I think Prime talks out his ass quite a bit, but in this instance, he's definitely correct. But yeah, it's so funny that it's just, Jesus Christ, you guys. It's so funny.
No, you understand what I'm saying with that, Prime. But that is what it is. Let's see. Let me catch up with the chat here. All right. Let's catch up. And like I said, I do appreciate his comments, as far as I'm talking about James Gunn. But he's like, yo, yeah, I talked with Zack and he gave me his best wishes. That sounds like Zack Snyder. He'd be like, yeah, he contacted me, he said, hey, do your thing, That's probably like when when Gunn said, oh, I'm not using Cavill. And Zack was like, oh, okay.
Okay, but is he going to acknowledge that it was like a week ago?
Nothing's telling me he recently talked to Netflix or Zack.
Okay,
it's not telling me that.
Bam, that's caught him right there, right? He contacted me to express his support about my choices. So the choices would be to what was last week. He's talking about last week, but still here. Oh, I don't know what I don't know what he means at all. I don't know what. No, it wouldn't. He wouldn't contact him to go like, oh, so you fired Henry Cavill. No, he'd be like, oh, you want to use Ben to direct? Good call. You want to get someone younger in there? Completely understand. Your run. Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. It's right there. Its words are right there. It's all just knowing the fucking date. That's all it is. Yeah, Plus Year says, I do appreciate the money you gave me. That's basically what yeah. Okay, we're almost, well, okay, what do we have? Much like 10 minutes? I don't think we can go that long.
Phil says, I told him on that tweet, we just want closure. Have Zack finish his story, just like many of us supported him to finish his story with Guardians 3. That's fair. That's very fair. That sounds, non-toxic.
I mean,
doesn't sound like you're mixed up with other hashtags saying that.
No, right? No one is mixing up the hashtags, Phil. You're just dumb.
Sounds like a DC fan with a level head. That's the problem when people want to group everything together. When the messaging is clear. That's what I figured on it. But I just learned this on social media. Just people, they don't research. They don't read stuff. They don't, no.
He's talking about
they
himself.
Just group everything together.
This is a self-report, you guys. This is an absolute self-report. This is hysterical.
Yeah, Prime. First and second tier will not happen. Opinion. All right.
God, I feel like this is watching a replay of a Mad Max stream.
Probably on my next stream, I'll probably have Prime on here. I think when he types it out, it looks like he's offending people. We'll talk, Prime. I know what he's trying to say. Let's see. Likes to go hammer on fake rumors, but he knows the Snyder fandom a bit. Gut it. Maybe go a little easy on them. But crushing hopes and dreams. Nah, just be forthcoming with information, Dan. That's all James Gunn has to do.
That's pretty forthcoming.
If you talk to Netflix and Zack, then yeah, this story's over. But why leave this like ambiguous, right? That's my problem with it.
Come on, acknowledge
everyone else can have
support about my choices. About his slate. We know that. We know the time frame. It's literally right there. My God.
That's leading people to think.
The timing has no coincidence. I mean, you know what? Maybe not. Who cares if it does?
Is this because of the hashtag campaign coming to 14? Is that why James Gunn is speaking out about it now? And then you got two trays that had ready-made articles to cover a tweet that wasn't like, it was like buried in the thread. People retweeted it, of course, but.
Oh my God. Wait. Is he legitimately suggesting that like Gunn is working with Variety in order to like have a ready-made article for a response? Right? That he contacted Variety to have the article ready to go. That's a thing, you guys. That's a thing. That's you gotta love it. You have to really love it. Okay, let's take a quick look here. All right, let's just see here. I'm just gonna bring this up. Okay, so this article went live today at February 9th, 2023, 1:44 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Okay. That's when this article went live. All right, let's go back and find that first tweet that he had put out, just so I can know. I'm finding it here. Hold on a second, guys. All right, I'm doing my investigative work. I'm doing my investigative work. Okay, so here we go. Found it right here. Here it goes. I found it. Okay. So what we've got here is 12:39 p.m. Pacific Standard Time is when this first one dropped. Okay, 12:39 p.m. And then he responded this one. All right, come on, bring it up. 12:46. So 7 minutes later, he responded. And this article went up an hour later. So if James Gunn had worked with Zach Sharf from Variety in order to piece together a ready-made response, in order to sit there and get ahead of this, that it took an hour to get it done. Now, here's the other thing with this too. I'm just going to bring this up real quick. Okay, hold on. I'm just copying this. You guys won't be able to see this, but I'm just kind of curious. How many words is this article? This article is 408 words. 408 words long is what this Variety article is. How long does it take you to do that? How long does it say? Does it say for this shit? Right? It doesn't. This is nothing. This is absolutely fucking nothing. This is a quick article that came on out. It literally will take you 2 minutes and 34 seconds to listen to the article. If you want to listen to it, it will take even less than that for me to read it to you. You know? So no, it's just, I can't, okay. Like, Jesus Christ, you guys. Okay. Rodney here says, just listen to William stream for a few minutes and he's losing his mind right now. Like, is he live right now over on, is William live? Cause I mean, let me see here. Hold on. Because he'd be over on Poindexter Lounge, I believe, right? Is he live? Okay. Let me see. Hold on, I'm bringing it. Okay.
But
There
9
you go.
times out of 10,
All right.
if I'm
How
by
far
myself
back?
and
How
I
far
have
back was
customers
it?
coming into the store, it's easier for me to be streaming from the counter because I can look at all the cameras in the store and I can. Before I saw Inception, I had listened to the soundtrack.
Let's see.
We'll actually have Toxie there dressed up. Works out, but that's a really risky proposition. Because you say something is dead doesn't mean the demand for that something goes away. Something dies when the demand goes away, not when some director, producer, CEO who get switched out routinely. Were we not 7-8 months ago talking about a whole different slate of people? So people change and switch out. The demand doesn't. And I'm not saying it's happening tomorrow, happening ever, but you guys keep trying to say something is dead. It's not up to you. All right? It is not up to you. Anybody in the chat, me, James Gunn, Peter Safran, David Zaslav. They have control over things while they were in power. But they're not on the throne. CEOs get Bob Iger wasn't the CEO of Disney a few months ago, was he? They just extended Bob Chapek another 4 years. They had to buy him out. So the temporary help in employees saying something dead doesn't mean something is dead.
Okay, now, yeah, he's coping. He's coping. I mean, like, I get what he's trying to say, right? Like, I get what he's trying to say, but it's just like, it doesn't, they're building out so far that by the time a new CEO comes in, let's just even say, all right, for sake of argument, what if it happens in 2025, right? What if Universal buys out Warner Brothers Discovery 2025, or just Warner Brothers? Because apparently Zaslav now wants to keep Discovery Plus its own thing, despite merging it with HBO Max. I don't even know. I think it's so dumb what they're doing with that, right? But it's entirely possible that that's what his plan is. Who knows? Don't know. I don't know. But if that's the case, all right, and they want to sell it over to Universal, if it's successful, Universal's not going to fuck with it. But even then, that's 3 years from now, right? 2-3 years from now. Henry Cavill is going to be balls deep in fucking Warhammer. Ben Affleck is going to be directing indie films. Gal is going to be off having like a 5th kid or whatever the fuck, doing other movies, maybe another Heart of Stone movie or doing a Red Notice 4 if that ever happens, right? Ray Fisher is not going to go back and work under DC Studios. It's just not going to happen. I'm sorry. He's not going back to Warner Brothers because Warner Brothers would still oversee the project. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Would Zach want to come back also underneath Warner Brothers? I mean, even if it is Zaslav and Gunn and Safran, who I'm sure he'd have fine working relationships with, would they want to go back and deal with that shit? The answer to that is no. The answer to that is no. Where will Zach be in 2025? That's the better question. Yep. That's the better question. Where's Zach going to be? Zach is going to be off doing what Zach is going to do. So making another movie probably. So, all right. So guys, on that note, it is almost 1 a.m. here. I do got to get to bed, but we are going to check out this Warhammer fans' emotional reaction to Henry Cavill from Command Unit. So thank you very much for that. We'll give this about like a minute or two, see how it's going. If it's good, we'll watch the whole thing. This guy looks pretty intense. Let's see what it is. This will be more fun to watch than Sill squirming and lying for 20 minutes.
Is making a Warhammer 40K series on Amazon. That's the announcement. And I can hardly contain my excitement. I'm actually holding back emotions for some reason. And it's the most incredible thing. If you didn't hear about it, these are the words from Henry on his Instagram. For 30 years, I have dreamt of seeing a Warhammer universe in live action. Now, after 22 years of experience in this industry, I finally feel like I have the skill set and experience to guide a Warhammer cinematic universe into life. Partnering with Natalie Viscuso at Vertigo has been a blessing beyond words. Without her, we might not have found the perfect home at Amazon. And
I just want to point out, Natalie Viscuso is his girlfriend, if those of you who don't know.
having a home like Amazon will give us the freedom to be true to the massive scope of Warhammer. To all you Warhammer fans out there, I promise to respect this IP that we love. I love it. We love. I promise to bring you something familiar, and I endeavor to bring you something fantastic that is, as of yet, unseen. Our first steps are to find our filmmaker, creator, writer. Watch this space, my friends. I'm just brimming with so many emotions. So first off, automatically, the first thing I felt was like this massive ray of hope and positivity. This is going to help normalize Warhammer in the global stratosphere. This is something that will bring Warhammer to the far reaches of the world. It just will. Amazon is massive. Henry is massive. The IP is already growing. It's already becoming big, and this will just catapult it to even greater heights. This is something that's going to affect all of us in ways that we can't possibly imagine. So it's a dream of so many of ours to see Warhammer in a cinematic universe, to see it brought to life, because we feel so many of the emotions. We dedicate so much of our time to this hobby and to this aspect of our lives, and to see it portrayed that way is excitement beyond imagination, and it is wonderful. It is a fantastic time to be a part of the hobby and to see the growth that it's taking. And there isn't a more perfect individual to champion that for us all, and it's awesome.
Wow.
It's just blubbering like a big baby, and I don't care. It's awesomeness, and I love it. So this is my feeble attempt to get the word out there, to let everyone know that this is something, if you haven't already heard of it, Henry Cavill is working on this. From the sounds of it, he's at the helm of it, which means we can have hope that it'll be done in a way that is true to what we want it to be, because it matters so much to us. So for that, thank you, Henry, for caring, for being one of us, for focusing your time and attention in this direction, in your life and in your career. Out of all the places you could possibly go, you're at the top right now of the industry, of your career, and out of all those places you could have chosen, you choose this. And it's so awesome. I love it so much. I can't contain the excitement. I feel like so many emotions. I'm feeling like excitement, joy, anticipation, hope, mania. There's just so much. And just we can't wait. We can't wait to see what it just this. I feel like it truly is a grim, dark world that we live in, and this is ironically the biggest ray of light and hope that you could possibly infuse into so many lives. Can't wait to see what this is going to become. If you're watching this and you've never heard of Warhammer before, but you've heard of Henry before because, you know, he's Superman and The Witcher and many other things. And most importantly, right now in this moment, he is the champion of our hobby. He is Warhammer. Wouldn't that be amazing? If in the same way that you look at him, you see Superman, that in the future you look at him and you think of Warhammer. And this is a message to people that have never heard of Warhammer before. Because us as Warhammer fans, we look at Henry and we think of Warhammer. The victory will be when the world sees Henry and the world sees Warhammer. It's out of our hands. It's out of the community's hands at this point. It's up to Henry. And Henry, we believe in you. We support you. We rally behind you. And we love you. That's what it is. It's love, it's support, it's kinship, it's all of this stuff. Thank you for making.
So this guy is, who's this guy? So this is MWG
I spent
Studios.
60 hours playing.
So yeah, he's got 431,000 subs. Clearly big fan. Clearly big fan. Good for him. I mean, really good for him. So I liked that. I did like that video. It is nice to see the emotion. All right. It is very much nice to see all that kind of stuff. I think one of the interesting things with it is that, you know, Henry has got a lot on his plate to get this thing right. I think he's in a position where he wants to take on that role, that mantle of a producer, and to not have anyone get the fuck in his way and to fuck shit up. You know what I mean? My only concern, and I know Command Unit would definitely disagree with me on this one, or maybe not disagree with me, but like not 100% agree with me. But like my only real concern is when I think of this show, this idea, this IP, I'm wondering if it's almost too complex for normies, and that could be something that might be an issue down the road. I don't know. I don't know, but it'll be fascinating to see how it plays out. Cavill has a new cult. Who knew? Oh, dude, this cult ain't got shit. Or I should say the Snyder fans ain't got shit on Warhammer. Oh, bro. Dude, it's nuts, man. There are people who are like used to make Warhammer content that fucking drop making Warhammer content because they don't want to deal with the fan base. All right. So they turned to Star Wars because it was easier. Just to let that be a little bit of food for thought for you. It's going to be crazy, dude. And I'm sure we'll talk about it. I don't want to get into it too much because I don't want to get, there's a lot of lore there, a lot of things to learn, a lot of things to do. But all right, guys, in the meantime, we rocked a supersized show tonight. I will definitely not be on tomorrow night. Probably Saturday, maybe we'll do something. Maybe we'll watch a movie or some shit. For the channel members, we'd have to do it as a channel member thing just because of all that. So check the community tab. We'll see what's going on. Tomorrow night definitely won't be on. I'll be working, everything else. But anyway, guys, thank you all so much. Have yourself a great night. I'll talk to you all later, and peace the hell out.